Lynch, report in.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Red 1 standing by. Live from the southern Grand Veteran, Nevada, our not-so-secret bunker. right off the Hollywood strip, right off the Las Vegas strip. I think it's in Hollywood. This is it. You guys been waiting for this for at least 3 months, because it's taken me 3 months to collate all of this heinous information. Father's Day too, so I will dig into that a little bit today. I got to produce the style of looking right across from me in the brand new Red 1 today from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the Irrational Male. There we go. Oh, man. All right. Full disclosure. There we go. Full disclosure. We have to be very careful with our words today because I don't want to get too I don't want to step on anybody's feet. So let's start with this.
You Asian?
I'm Asian, yeah.
I'm Asian?
Yeah.
Damn. Full?
I'm full Vietnamese.
Full Vietnamese,
Yeah.
Madison?
I'm full Thai.
Thai?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Good times.
One race you laddies wouldn't date.
Asian.
Huh?
I've never found an Asian guy attractive, and it's just preference.
Me too.
Like I just never have.
Like I'm not like opposed to it, but it's just like it's like
Never.
it just came up in my head like, oh, like it's kind of weird that I've like never been attracted to an Asian.
I used to not find Asians attractive, but like now I do. I think it's more so like they can relate to me more with like culture and everything like that. So like me personally, I really like I like dating Asian guys.
Oh, Asian.
Asian guy?
Yeah.
Would you date it? Are you find Asian
I
men
would and
attractive?
have dated most races.
What about you?
I mean, skin color doesn't really matter.
Madison?
Wait, we skipped her.
She's not Asian.
Oh, was it just?
Oh, you
towards
only want to
Asian
know if the
people?
Asian?
Yeah. Okay, fine,
I don't have
fine,
a
fine,
pass.
fine.
Personally, like, I think Asian women are very attractive, but I've never really been attracted to an Asian man.
There
Of course we have amazing skin.
We're Asians. Of course we're in medical school.
We're Asian. Of course we can't see well when we drive.
No,
What?
wait.
What?
Shoot.
What?
What?
But
can't
it's
say it.
true.
No. No, it's not. No, it's not. Go again. Go again. We're Asian. Of course we love K-pop.
We're Asian. Of course we're good at math. We're Asian. Of course we have a tight pussy.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ,
gosh,
what are you
no.
saying?
That's TMI. But it's true. I can show you. Sure.
God,
What? Tell them. How?
I mean, no, it's true, but
Would you make a guy wait before you give it up to him?
Depends on the guy. Depends on if I like him or if I'm physically attracted to him and the energy is there and I think it's mutual and I feel as though there's respect, it could be sooner than later. But if I feel as though this is somebody who is a long play, like you can kind of gauge that. Like initially you're like, okay, you're just short term, or no, you actually have qualities that I could see bringing us into the future, then that person I might have with him wait a little bit longer.
So if you and him are on the same page and the vibe is there,
Yeah.
and he's like, yo, let's go up to the room, you'd be down. But if he's giving you more a nice guy vibe, you're more eager to stretch it out.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So why go after the bad boys after this long?
I think that there's almost a certain level of security in knowing that it's not something that I have to invest myself in.
So the fact that he doesn't care gives you the freedom
To also not care. If it's just a physical thing, it's just a physical thing. It's compartmentalized.
Compartmentalized. That's how we say that's womanese for women make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. Not unlike this girl.
Swear to God, I would have boyfriends and never post them once. Like, I was like, I will hide you till the day I die, because I didn't want to share that I had a boyfriend, because I like wanted to still like see if there was other options out there for me. I know this is like toxic and horrible to say. Everyone, keep on moving on.
Men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers, and some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions. We don't know what it sounds like to hear, "I see you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're here. You really make a difference." Yet the expectation is to constantly be displaying the strength and love that the world is hesitant in conveying. We're expected to have a thick skin but get judged if it turns to a hard shell. The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Cause yes, boy, you're gonna be starving. Starved of attention, starved of affirmation, starved of love, starved of being told that you are enough. Step 2 in being a man is comfortability with replaceability. You are only as good as you are useful. You are only as valuable as you are needed by others. Should there ever come a day, boy, where you fail to provide everybody with a smiling face, then do not be surprised when they say all men do is take up space, and you are swiftly replaced. Step 3 in being a man is overcoming your fear of the fire. Because almost everything you will ever try to build will go up in flames. Relationships, careers, hobbies, and yes, you are always to blame. Step 4 in being a man is understanding that by the time you finally get all the right answers, these questions will have already changed. You might achieve the strength of Herculean fiction, trying to balance the weight of all these contradictions. Be a man, they say. Definition unknown. We men, so empty, so irritable, so this, so that. We get told what we are so much we've accepted that who we are ain't even up to us.
Happy Father's Day.
Why do we always remember men for their battles, fights, duels? Where are the homages for all those men that forged the path, the sensitivity? The
Full disclaimer, this is the gayest ad I've ever seen.
first strong man that said, "I love you," to his dad.
I love you.
My God, such bravery. The first boxer that decided to hug his rival after beating him up. They say his nickname was the Bear, but we're not really sure. The first caveman that not just slaughtered a mammoth. He also delicately painted the scene to express his true feelings about life and death.
Or like, how to kill it yourself.
The first football player who really lost it while celebrating a victory. Was a Viking warrior the first man that did a beautiful braided hairdo to his daughter? Or was he a tough settler in the Wild West? What was the name of the brave king who lost a battle with his dog and let it sleep on his throne? The first courageous man that cried watching a movie in a crowded theater. Don't they deserve to be remembered?
No.
They were pioneers. They opened the door for all of us. For you, the strong, sensitive men. And you are luckier than them. You won't be forgotten. Be proud. Be strong. Be sensitive.
Product placement, and there you go.
A lot of sense to me. I grew up in Seattle. I went to school. I majored in business. Now I'm a comedian. My parents are ticked. But there's so much stuff in school they didn't teach us in life. So I'm going to show you how life really goes down, what they do not teach us in school, right? You wake up into your world in about age 16. About age 16, you start saying to yourself, oh, I have to get a job one day. So I'm going to have to work real hard at a skill to make money. But you know what? I want to make a lot of money. So I'm going to work for years to become an expert at this skill. Then I get a relationship going. Now I have to keep the job going because she needs a lot of money. But now, not only do I have to be an expert at my job, all of a sudden I have to be an expert at relationships. This is hard. She wants me to be masculine yet sensitive. I don't know if I'm supposed to be Richard Gere or Richard Simmons. Then we bought a house. Now I have to be a plumber, I have to be an electrician, I have to be a landscape artist, I have to be an expert at taxes. Now we have children. Now I'm a doctor. Now I'm a doctor, I'm a mentor, I'm a theologian, And all of a sudden I hear from my wife, honey, I don't get enough attention. There is no time.
Episode of Piece of Shit Sex Offenders That Shouldn't Be on Instagram, Stephanie Peterson. Welcome to the show. As some of you may know, we're currently on a crusade to rid Instagram of all registered sex offenders, and that includes Stephanie here. You see, Stephanie's a registered sex offender. Screenshot this so you can send the report in, and screenshot this. She was convicted of having sex with a 14-year-old. Here's her guilty plea. Screenshot this, you may need it too. So our mission here is really to just report as many sex offenders as possible to Instagram so they can get rid of them. If you just Google Instagram sex offender, this link comes up, click the first link, and just fill out this form. You'll need to put your email address, her name, which is Stephanie Peterson, her Instagram name, which I'll put at the end, and then you just have to show screenshots. You click choose files, the screenshots that you took here. If you missed it the first time, here's her username. It's Steph Lifts with 3 H's. Here's a screenshot of her on the sex offender registry. Go ahead and screenshot that. And here's her guilty plea. You'll probably want to attach that too.
Sheriffs say they forced a 10-year-old child to inappropriately touch them. Investigators arrested 24-year-old Dawn Brock of Dyersburg, Tennessee, and 34-year-old Courtney Morris of Cortland, Mississippi. According to the affidavit, the 10-year-old won a contest and the women drew the winning ticket was topless. The affidavit states Morris grabbed the kid's arm and forced it onto Brock's breast. Both Brock and Morris remain in Mississippi County Detention Center awaiting probable cause hearing.
Way to bring down the mood.
For a teacher to have sex with a child. We're seeing more women who are being arrested for these crimes. In the past, women were not arrested. It may very well be that this has been going on for a much longer period of time, but now that we're arresting the women, we're seeing this phenomenon. These are women who are married. These are women who are dating. These are women who have children. These are women who may have been divorced, and they are trying to recreate something in their mind to bring them back to a childhood situation where they had their first sexual arousal and emotional arousal. Especially younger teachers who may be just 23 and may see the high school relationships with her students as not very different from what she had when she was trying to date and find passion in relationships. And often the boundary then gets lost between the teacher and the student. But you do have the authority of the teacher over the student. It's a very powerful one. The child may look adult, they may have fully developed genitals, but they are not equipped to deal emotionally with the relationship of falling in love or falling into sex with a teacher. All of the teachers I have been involved with in my practice, their marriages ended. The children took sides, and people treated the teacher as a monster. Many of them get hospitalized psychiatrically or put on heavy medication. Many of these teachers are good teachers, and they're never going to practice again, and they have to give up their license to practice. It's horrible what people can do when a lust relationship becomes associated with attachment.
There you go. Greetings. Sorry to bring the mood down a little bit there. Oh, did we lose? Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I was like, when we started stalling out there, but this is the first time we came back in. Hey, how we doing? Are we good? Is the audio good? Is the video good? This is our first time making this work out for us. So guys, if there's something going on with the video or the audio, please feel free to let us know. This is our first sort of foray into our new podcasting studio. One of them, anyways. We've got the other one right across from me right here, which is going to be the large room for big shows such as Access Vegas, and then we've got another green room that we're kind of deciding like what we're going to do. I have producer Kyle in the house with me today.
Hell yeah!
Thank you. Okay, audio's good, video's good. Good. Well, I have been meaning to do this show for quite some time. Maybe I should just go back to the beginning here. I have been tracking the teacher / student dynamic for quite some time now, and I don't think enough people have really appreciate just how long this has been going on. That video, the last one that I just did just a bit ago, I found that from 6 years ago. So that would have been what, like 2017, 2016, 2017, 2017, 2018. And that was when people were just beginning to take notice of this. Now, I'm sure like most people are familiar with Mary Kay Letourneau and that situation. There's a lot of intricacies that go into the relationship between that go into a teacher slash student relationship. And I have to be very delicate with my words here today. I have to be very careful with I think I spent probably the most time I've ever spent on a title of a video for this particular video. Female teacher student sex is an epidemic. That was not my first choice of titles, but I kind of ran it by some friends of mine, and they said, you might not want to use the term EPAR or grape. Because I'm already, if you haven't already heard the news, my Access Vegas channel has been demonetized, and we are now had to push the channel over to Rumble. So the videos that are still on that channel will remain there. So if you want to watch any of the old ones, that's fine. But we're like Mike Sartain will be broadcasting Access Vegas Live, and I will be as well. But we are now going to our exclusive Rumble channel for those shows, and because we're under a lot of scrutiny right now, especially this the manosphere, the red pill, whatever we want to call it right now. I'm almost ready to move away from the term red pill, but I don't know how I would ever possibly be able to do something like that. I'm Rollo Tomasi. I am the author of The Rational Male. I am the godfather of the red pill, or have been called so, not by myself. You know, I love it when people tell me that. So he calls himself the godfather of the manosphere. He's not right. Like, you guys don't even know the fucking story about behind that. I love it when I get some old school guy like Paul Elam giving me grief about this, like, oh, he thinks he's the godfather of the manosphere. Like, I never called myself that. Actually, it was Pat Campbell who gave me that name, because I used to go on his show and he would introduce me as the godfather of the manosphere, and it kind of stuck. So I never made it up for myself. In fact, if you want to be the god, please be my guest. Take it away. I'm it's heavy as the crown. Trust me. But anyways, I've been working on collecting these stories and these incidences of teacher student sexual activities. Let's just say, one of the things you will notice in a lot of the stories that I'm going to present to you today is the mainstream media still resists calling it what it is, which is statutory grape. Okay, I can't even use the term, right? That's how heinous it is, right? We're not supposed to say that word. You can say motherfucker on YouTube, but you can't say that word. So let's say forced copulation from here on out. Now, the reason why they are loath to do that is because it's an unflattering reality about female nature. And at this point, from the amount of data, just the mountains of stories that I have just collected in the last 3.5 months, this isn't some just isolated incident. And this is where I'm going to start today, is because I have to give you the preface work for this. I think it was the thing that motivated me to do this show. I got to give you the inspiration for the show. I think it was towards the end of February. Yeah, it was towards the end of February, in the beginning of March. And I tweeted this tweet out, and I said, there have been more female teachers who have statutorily graped their students in the last month, in just the month of February. And I think there were something like 6 that I had tracked at that point. Now, I hadn't made a folder for them, and I hadn't really kept up with it in a while. There was a time back in the days when Pat Campbell was a part of this show, and I was on his show. And I think on a couple of occasions, he and I talked about this epidemic on his terrestrial radio show. And then I think we did 1 or 2 episodes way back in the day. I think it might have been 2018 that we did this topic before. So I've done this topic God knows how many times, but it's always when it comes back around, it always seems fresh. I try to put a different spin on it. And it wasn't hard to put a spin on it this time, because in this instance, let's see if I put this up here. I'm going to go through the stories that I have collected just over the last like 3.5 months, so you guys get an idea of what the scope of this is. And I know there's been some other people. I think CGA has done a show on this once or twice. Maybe even Lucario did. I'm not sure who else has done this topic, but I was just looking up. I was just simply looking up. What did I type in? I put female teachers who found sexually assaulting their male students. Okay, what's going on, kind of thing. So I was just looking at some of these, just a cursory, query on the search function on YouTube. Female teacher found guilty of sexually assaulting a male student. Predators in the classroom. The video I just showed you a moment ago. Substitute teacher allegedly raped 11-year-old boy repeatedly with prosecutors. Teacher sentenced to 60 days. Only 60 days for sexually abusing a student. Math teacher allegedly raped teen at school while other students acted as lookouts. This is another one that's been around. Biology teacher accused of having sex with student at local park, say police. Teacher accused of sexual relations with a teen appears in court finally. Dozens of female teachers arrested allegedly for having sex with students. And the list goes on and on. I'll show you these guys. I'll show you these stories as we move along. But the one thing I said was that in the last, when I started this, the tweet that I was referring to, I said in the last month, there have been more female teachers who have had inappropriate sexual contact, let's just say, with students than the last 10 years that there have been incel criminality, incel shooters. Okay, because we're coming up. Actually, it was last month. It was in May that we came up on the 10th anniversary of Elliot Rodger and his rampage through Santa Barbara. Now, there have been a couple of other more, like there's Alex Manazian, there's a few other ones. Now, the reason why I was throwing this out there is because I was getting a little bit pissed off about this bullshit with trying to pin this criminality and this radicalization of incels on people such as myself or Mike Sartain or anyone else who is doing any kind of comprehensive, substantive conversations on incels or on the red pill or on intersexual dynamics or on we're talking about nuts and bolts stuff here. I'm not talking about the whatever podcast stuff. I'm talking about like the real nuts and bolts stuff here. That's why I'm on a DHS watch list. That's why NGOs such as Diverting Hate have such a hard on for me and Rich Cooper and Aaron Clary of all people. So I thought it was the height of fucking irony that I would be included in some sort of report like this, or that they would go to such lengths and to fund studies, just half-assed research studies at incels.co to figure out, just to get inside the minds of these kids or these guys who are quote unquote, self-identifying incels, which are a fraction of 1% of the population here in the United States. Fraction of a fraction. Like a rounding fucking error, okay? Meanwhile, for the last 10 some odd years, we have had an epidemic of female teachers doing exactly this shit. And I'm going to just go through the number of these incidents in the last 3.5 months in this show to give you an idea of what the fucking scope of this is. I put this out there and I said, look, why are we putting money out for studies on incels when we have had this epidemic of female teachers sexually assaulting, sexually harassing, statutorily raping? Because that's actually every single one of these incidents where there's sex has taken place with a minor, that minor could not give consent in the state that they were in. And ergo, if it had been a male with a female student, that man would now be, his life would be ruined in tatters. His social life is done. His work life is done. Any kind of investment that he put into. Thanks. I don't see the lights go on. Any kind of investment he's made in himself as being a teacher, gone. Everything done. And just at the hint of it, I've got a story about that as well too. Thank you, Ed Lattimore, for making me aware of this one. So when I'm looking at the amount of money and what we're going to go and put into multiple research surveys or whatever, paid surveys, snowball sampled surveys. I've already gone over this. I won't belabor this, but I was wondering, why the fuck are we putting this kind of money and this kind of effort and this kind of intense, mind space into this when for the last 10 plus years, we have had an epidemic of female teachers? If anything, the most dangerous place for your kids to be is in public. If you have a boy who the girl takes a liking to. And I'm going to also point out the fact that, yes, there is a definite demographic for this. The video that I showed you here at the very end, that was, like I said, from 6 years ago. But and the first thing that anyone notices, and you guys in the chat are spot on, of course, most of these women are white. Most of these women are in their early to mid 20s. Not to say that there aren't a few that are in their 30s. Most are married, as he was saying. Most are in relationships, or most have come out of relationships where they were divorced, and that's where they find themselves. And it seems like a good fucking idea. And if anything, it has intensified and escalated since the time of that video. So why are we not doing this? Where's the funding for this? Why are we looking at guys such as myself, or such as Rich Cooper, or Aaron Clary, or Myron and Fresh, or whoever the fuck is on there? Was it a masculine supremacy list? Where is that? Where is the funding for this? Where is the interest in this? I'll tell you where it's at. I'll tell you where it's not at. It's because too many guys, the first thing they see is when they see something like this. Kyle, what do you think the first thing these guys are going to say when I go and I retweet this story? Where were these girls when I was 12 years old? Where were these girls when I was 15? Boy, school's changed. I wish I could go back in time and go to middle school so these girls could just feel me up. That's the bonehead stupidity that goes into this. Because, and I'm not that guy. Really, I'm not that guy when it comes to like being a quote unquote MRA, right? And MRAs have talked about this before. Trust me, don't throw me. Oh, well, they talked about this back in the day. I know. Okay. So, but now we're at a position right now. Now we're at a point in time where this has been going on for so long, and it's not these women are not outliers. Because the next thing anybody will say is the next thing that will come out is like, well, these women are damaged. These women have psychological issues. I'm like, they went through God knows how long to get their teaching credentials. God knows how long to become a teacher. And by the way, probably took out a lot of student loans to do that. A lot of money is involved in women becoming teachers. It's a profession that is almost exclusively women right now. I've shown these stats before. I have a really great infographic here on why there aren't more men in teaching positions, but I think it's kind of pretty self-evident why men aren't in teaching positions. First off, it doesn't pay very well. That's number one. I think I think that can come out of school. Like if you're a history teacher or a math teacher, like men, when they teach, it's usually like STEM field subjects or something like hard science. History is one of them. Mathematics is a male teacher thing. And being a coach, obviously, those kinds of, there's certain aspects of it, but most guys don't go, and you know what? I really want to grow up and become a teacher because there's no money in it. And the money that is there is in administration. You need to become a principal. You need to be in some way to be higher up to actually make some sort of money. And even then, you're not turning six figures at a public school in Detroit, right? So just understand that there's a reason why guys don't get into this. And let me explain pretty much the obvious here. The reason why men don't get into teaching positions, and I had this conversation with Richard Reeves when he was in studio with me and Mike last year. They don't get into these positions because it's low paying, it's low status, it's a high investment cost, meaning like you're going to have to go to at least 6 to 8 years of college to first of all learn what you're going to teach, and then also learn how to teach, get your teaching credentials and everything else. And then from that point on, God knows how much. I mean, if you're like the average guy, you're taking out student loans. Maybe you're not getting the same level of like scholarships and Pell Grants and everything else that go along if you're a female. So you have to be if you're a guy, you have to really, really want to be a fucking teacher. Okay. And I'm not saying it's not a noble profession. It is. We need more guys to be teachers, men, but I understand why they don't. And it's not just about the money. It's also about exactly what the situation is right here. Last I looked, the numbers could be higher right now. By my last calculations, 78% of teachers this is in the US, 78% of teachers in the US are female, and they will be female from preschool all the way to your postgraduates. So, and I pointed this out on a show or two ago, how more women are getting into sort of like communication fields. They're getting into, what do we got here? Oh, average salaries. Oh, okay. Let me look at that. Can you text that to me? Yeah. Just text that to me. Yeah. So you're looking at a low status. You're looking at low pay. You're looking at high investment cost to get into it. So you're investing at least 8 years of your life into this. And that's if you want to like teach at the collegiate level, right? If you, God forbid, you're going to start like in middle school or you're going to start in high school. So 78%, according to my last calculations, so like there's an like I said, there's an infographic about this. 78% of your teachers are going to be female in the if you're in the public schools, right? So it's a female-dominated field. We want to put more men into it, but more men aren't going to go into it because the risks are too bloody high. So investment costs are high, money's low, status is low, and now risk is high. So all it takes is a rumor, or all it takes is a misread or misunderstood tweet, and all of that investment and all of that money and all of those loans and everything you put into that because you're really passionate as a man to become a teacher is out the window just because some young lady took your tweet one way or took it another way. It is the administration is dominated by females in public schools. I would probably say at the university levels as well. So that's number one. There are more. The reason this is important is because people keep saying, Rollo, well, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I would say, well, the easiest, most, obvious situation to me is that it's just the law of averages. There are far, far fewer men in education than there are women. That's why more women are doing this. It's just saturation point. It's just the law of averages. It's probably going to be a woman these days. And the reason I'm bringing this up because a second tweet that I put out, I said, or actually it was the original first tweet, as a matter of fact, but then I got into this Twitter war with some other chick, right? And I put this out there and I said, look, in the last, I think this was towards the end of March. I said in the month of March, there were more women who are more female teachers who have either statutorily raped or have sexually assaulted their students than all of the incel, quote unquote, dangerous incels that there has been, in the last 10 years, 12 years, really, now if you think about it. So I bring that up. And of course, what happens is everybody conflates that as if I'm trying to say it's more women than it is men. That wasn't even the fucking point, but that's where everybody goes. And I go, and you're still fucking wrong. Because the reason why you see this happen more with women is because there's more women in education than there are men. Obviously, by law of averages, that's the way it's gonna fucking go down. So when we say, well, I saw these videos entitled, what's wrong with female teachers today, right? Because they don't want to use the R word. They don't want to use SA. They don't want to use those. It's usually alleged sexual activities or intercourse or something like that. I say, no, start using the terminology that you would use if it were a man. If it were a man with an underage female student, you would call him a statutory rapist. That would be the title of it. Instead, we see, a teacher on suspension because of alleged sexual misconduct. No, that's statutory rape. That's what that is. It meets the definition. That child, that underage minor student, and in some cases as young as like 10 or 12 years old, mostly it's around 14 to 16, it cannot give consent. And ergo, that is the definition in most states of what constitutes statutory rape. So can we please, like if you're a journalist right now, please, for the love of fucking Christ, will you please start using that terminology, because that's exactly what you would use for men. Anything that is not flat, any unflattering truth about female nature is always repressed. It is always modified. It is always soft-souled as something else. It's a man, no mercy. Just like that guy in that other video that I was showing. I meant to that video, like I was reading off, like you get no fucking mercy as a guy. Here's what it means to be a man. I was actually threw that in there because it's Father's Day. But but it's also kind of relevant to what we're talking about right now, is there's a separate standard of justice for men versus women. This has been, by the way, this is like something that's been studied for quite some time right now. If you look at, I challenge anybody, go do this right now. If you want to go on Google, type in female prison sentencing leniency or something like that, like using those terms, that as a search term, right? You will find that for the last 20, 25 years, women have been given more lenient prison sentences for the exact same crimes as if a man were to do it. Far, far more lenient. In fact, in no other like criminality is that more evident than what we're about to get into today with respect to female teachers. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about how you think that I am conflating. Again, this is the preface, right? I don't want to hear this crap about how it's being conflated with men doing it more or women doing it more. The reason why you're seeing these instances rise in frequency is because there are more women in education. That's a period. End of story. Full stop. There are more women in education. So you're going to have more of these instances. I don't see how that, like, how do you not like get there? I'll tell you how you don't get there is because there's this presumption that the man is the aggressor. That's the Duluth model of feminism. The presumption is that if there is something as heinous as statutory rape, it's going to default to it being a man. No, not anymore, ladies. Not anymore, feminists. Not anymore, Karen. Sorry, this is where we're at right now. And I'm about to prove to you why this is. This is how much is going on. So I'm gonna move on here, and I can't even do this without actually just going back through my my backlog of my bookmarks here. Now, I started this as far back as I think it was like the last couple of weeks of February. I have more in another folder that's on my hard drive as well from back in Pat Campbell's days. But this is just from the last couple of weeks of February up to where we are right now. Okay. So I started this folder because I collect like stories and stuff like that on my Twitter here. And I'm going to just up and show you this stuff here in a second. Where'd it go? And this is like the scope of this. And I don't think it's really hard to appreciate just how much is it. Now, the girl that's on, I'm going to introduce you to the girl. Her name is Ricky Lynn Laughlin. She's the one that is who made our thumbnail today, and there's a reason for this, but let me put this up here. I was seriously gonna go one by one and just like screen cap all of these, but there's so many that I don't think I have enough space at StreamYard to put that many overlays on here. So that's why we have to do what we have to do here. That should give you the scope here. Okay, so you'll have to pardon my folder is called Teacher Rapists here. Now, I'm using that term in the clinical sense. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. Starting with this one right here. This is at the base level. Okay. Where'd she go? Okay. First and foremost, I think this is February 12th. Okay. And this is right. This is number 4 for February 12th. Now, these are kind of like not in numerical order, but you'll get the gist here. Married teacher arrest for sneaking into 14-year-old's student's home to have sex in his bed. Cops found her vaginal juices soaked in his sheets. There you go. That's number 1, or well, number 1 for us. This was number 4 for the month of February. Okay. Now we're going to move on. Ed Lattimore, just to give you an idea as to why more men aren't in teaching positions. This is a good example of this. Thanks, Ed, for this. A group of Rhode Island middle schoolers thought their teacher was a creep. So they kept a log of what they thought they considered inappropriate interactions between him and the girls in the class. The teacher is now on administrative leave and under investigation. That was September 12th, 2022. Just full disclosure here. But I threw that in to this folder because I wanted to give you an idea as to why more men aren't in teaching. This is like Richard Reeves. If you're watching, this is a really good reason right here. It's high risk, low status, low paying, high investment cost. This is why. Okay. Oh boy, here's the fun one. This was from April 28th. God. New Arkansas teacher and church volunteer charged with sexually assaulting a 15-year-old she groomed 26-year-old Reagan Gray has been charged with felony assault of a teen. The church was allegedly aware of the abuse, and instead of calling the police, they assigned her. What did they say here? Hold on a second. Hold on, I keep coming back. Hold on a sec. I want to jump. I have to show this whole thing here. Wait a minute. Anyways, I think the thing was that they ended up praying for this girl. Where does it go? Hold on, I have to read the whole thing. Here we go. This is from that same one. Let's see. Accountability. Oh, here they assigned her an accountability partner to Gray. The accountability partner was the pastor's wife. After the counseling sessions, Gray continued with the abuse. Gray allegedly only performed oral sex on the boy because she wanted him to stay pure. The accused pedophile was a teacher at Little Rock Christian Academy and was a member of student ministry at the church. After the police finally got involved, Gray was a teacher at Sylvan Hills Middle School. She was then suspended. Okay, so she does meet the qualifications. Remember, she is a teacher here. So just let you know, it might sound like she was just like. Oh, here we go. The Blaze. This was awesome. Married Minnesota mom accused of having sex with 15-year-old hockey players after hockey players after a fight with her husband. Okay. Where is that one? I actually have this one loaded up here too. This is from The Blaze. I think I might. Well, hold on. It's okay. Let me grab I'm just going to read just the highlights of this one. Married Minnesota mom accused of having sex with 15-year-old hockey player after a fight with a husband. A married Minnesota mother is accused of having sex with two 15-year-old boys who were in town for a hockey tournament, according to a criminal complaint. Allison Chardon, 38, was reportedly arrested on Thursday and charged with third and fourth degree criminal sexual conduct. Authorities said Chardon was allegedly on a staycation with her family at a hotel in Roseville, roughly 15 miles from her house. Her hometown, Blaine, Minnesota. Chardon reportedly encountered teens from Colorado who were in town for a hockey tournament while at the hotel. According to charges, while in a hotel hot tub with the teens on the evening of January 14th, this is from January, told them she had marital problems. I guess so. According to the Pioneer Press, at the room, Chardon asked the boy their ages, and asked them if they were young enough to be told they were young enough to be her kids. Chardon allegedly began talking about sex and stuff, and then got into bed with two of the boys and asked them about their sexual experiences. Chardon began sexual acts with two of the teens, while a third watched and asked them to perform sexual acts on her. Okay, I won't go any further than that, or risk of losing it. So there you have. That's Mrs. What's her name? Minnesota mother, Mrs. Chardon. There you go. All right, next. Okay, this is the one to watch for. Here we go. Missouri teacher Ricky Lynn Laughlin, 24, faces 20 years in prison for sending nudes to a 16-year-old student and inviting him over for sex while the husband was away. This was back in October of 2023, so it doesn't really fit in with the last 3 months. But the reason why it came to my attention was because she was being arraigned during, I think it was February or March. So now, of course, hey, what's wrong with our society? Okay, well, let me explain to you exactly who Ricky Lynn is here. In fact, let me share this tab instead. I think I can do that. Can I? Did it switch? Good. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me introduce you to Ricky Lynn. Okay, she's a winner here, man. Look at this. She's not bad looking, man. She what do you think? She make hard 7, right? She's not too bad. I mean, she's no Access Vegas girl, but she's all right. Who is Ricky Lynn Laughlin, and what did she do? Missouri teacher charges explained. Here we go. Who is Ricky Lynn Laughlin? She's the cover model for our thumbnail today. Ricky Lynn Laughlin is a 25-year-old special education teacher from Missouri who has been accused of establishing inappropriate relationships with a 16-year-old student. The teacher is an active user of social media. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Often sharing photos of herself and her family and engaging in activities such as horseback riding, posing with raffles, and displaying Trump flags. Yeah, there it is. Oh, there she is. Look. All right. Not too bad. Married, 24. According to reports, the student alleged that Laughlin had sent him sexually or explicit photographs and requested inappropriate images from him. She is facing several allegations, including possessing child porn, influencing a witness, and manipulating physical evidence. The teacher, who works with students with special needs, has been accused of meeting with a student. I hope he didn't have special needs. At her home to begin a romantic relationship while her spouse was away. Laughlin is currently on a break while the investigation is being conducted. Yeah, she's suspended. Okay, thank you. What did Ricky Lynn Laughlin do? Ricky Lynn Laughlin has been accused of sending her explicit photos to a 16-year-old boy. The police believe that the events may have taken place somewhere between September 8th and October 19th. She faces a series of charges, including possession of CP, tampering with a witness, tampering with physical evidence, attempted statutory rape. Finally, somebody's willing to say it. In the second degree, promoting obscenity in the first degree, and furnishing porn materials to a minor. Got it. According to the accusations, Laughlin was the one using persuasion, as confirmed by Mary's County Sheriff's Office. The student's behavior, on the other hand, consisted of repeatedly making excuses to avoid the situation. Officials suspected that the teacher had used Snapchat to communicate with the 16-year-old student at the start of the academic year. Well, I would explain the September thing, right? Also alleged that Laughlin ultimately kissed the student in the classroom. After police investigation, it was discovered that the teacher had sent explicit videos of herself using adult toys. Laughlin persistently pressured the student to send her nude photos until he finally gave in. Later, Laughlin instructed him to remove the material she had sent due to the speculation from others. Boy complied and removed most of the content, but retained some and presented it to the authorities. There you go. Let me just whip through here. This is her good. She's such a good girl, right? I mean, look, Ricky Lynn Laughlin. All right. So I just want to show you some of the photos here of what we're talking about. They all tend to fit a. Let me start sharing. There we go. They all tend to fit a certain archetype, a certain stereotype. Let's just say. And oh gosh, there we go, much better. They fit a certain stereotype. I'm going to catch up with super chats here just real quick. Thank you for the Father's Day salute. I salute you back. Saralita, happy Father's Day, Rollo. May God, our Father, bless you, give you long life and health. The All Father. Also, I waited so long for today's topic. That's why, I have too. And I was thinking about just doing a straight up Father's Day show, but I've done Father's Day shows before and I was ready to go with this. So I knew it was going to be the first show that I did when I moved into the new studio here. I was raised by two lesbians. They basically never resolve conflicts. Why can't women cooperatively problem solve as easily as men? Because women are not wired for problem solving in the same way that men are. As I said before, would you like the long answer or the short answer? I'll give you the long answer to really just, I'll give you the medium answer. Women talk, men do. Men are more interested in things. Women are more interested in people. So when it comes to conflict resolution, that's one thing. But when we're talking about solving problems cooperatively, men tend to focus on it from a reasonable, rational perspective, assuming they're not trained by women to do otherwise. Most men will try to find the most pragmatic solution to a problem. They'll say, "Hey, it seems to me that 2 + 2 is 4. Can we just go with 2 + 2 is 4? Looks good to me. All right. We don't want to discuss about why 2 + 2 is 5 or 9 or 10 or 13, right? We just go straight with what looks like the most obvious deductive answer. Men are deductive problem solvers. Women are emotional problem solvers. Okay. Well, I want to have a good resolution to this. Women have to add a layer of emotion to problem solving. So They might even solve the problem, right? But if it doesn't feel good in the solving and the solution of the problem, then it's not as good a solution as if it were, if that makes any sense. All right. Let's see. Got that. But that's a good question, by the way. Hey, there we go. Just some guy. Thank you very much. Yo, what's the term for the concept that says that all knowledge, ideas can be known, are known, and there is no such thing as an original idea? I don't know. It sounds like a school of philosophy, actually. I know it's not solipsism. I don't know. I will have to look that up. It sounds very much like a Platonic, like Plato, actually. But I don't know, but I will find out for you. All things are known. All things are known. Hi, Rolo. Any chance you could lower the price on Minect? It's a bit expensive out here in South Africa. I only charge $20 for a text thing. I'll tell you what, Kurtz, just like hit me up in email and I'll see what I can do for you. I didn't think it was that expensive. Okay. Chaos. What? I can't watch today's show, but I will tomorrow. $10 $10 to say thanks, Rolo. Thank you very much for that too. Appreciate you. Rolo, it's very interesting that the interrogation videos of female predator teachers never make it online. Nor are there any studies that show that any studies and follow-up on the victims. No, of course not, because anything that is unflattering about female nature is ruthlessly repressed. You want to know, like, I get this a lot when I use the term gynocentric social order, gynocentric society. What that means is it is by women for women. I don't think people really realize this. There's a difference between a matriarchy and gynocentrism. There's a difference between a patriarchy and androcentrism. Okay. Patriarchy is a balanced system because people say, oh, well, no, it's tyrannical. No. Androcentrism is tyrannical. Patriarchy is balanced because patriarchy involves responsibility. So you might have authority as a patriarch, but you also have responsibilities as a patriarch. So you want to talk about fathers today? Patris, in nome patris. You want to talk about Father's Day today? Here we go. Patriarchy is a more balanced system than feminism. It is a more balanced system than gynocentrism. It is certainly more balanced system than androcentrism. What is androcentrism and what is gynocentrism? They are 100% authority with 0% responsibility. That is the definition of a tyranny. 100% responsibility with 0% authority is slavery. Okay, so those are pretty easy concepts to wrap your head around. So when we start talking about the difference between patriarchy and gynocentrism, that's what I'm sort of getting at. Okay, so when I start talking about that, and people ask me like, "Well, Rolo, what's this gynocentrism thing? Like, show me where this is happening." Men have all the power. Men are the ones at the very top echelons, at the top of the pyramid. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: it's what's called the apex fallacy. There are very few, guys who are at the top. Most of the richest people in the world are men. Right. That's not to say that there aren't a top 10 list of the richest women in the world who all got it through divorce or through inheritance, primarily. In the top 10, I believe there are no self-made billionaires in the top 10. If there is, there's one, and I think she's probably like number 10. Right. So yes, you'd be correct about that. And then down below those guys is this whole swathe of women, and then below them is mostly men who are supporting the infrastructure of society and doing all the work that we're kept reminded of on every episode of Fresh and Fit and every episode of whatever podcast. And please keep doing that. We need to have people understand that. And even Pearl, one thing Pearl gets right. Say something nice about Pearl. She gets one thing right. Pretty much everything is built by men, right? And so when we're looking at like sort of the bottom of the base of the pyramid, that's where men are at. The next middle section is all women, and then at the very top, a little bit of women, but mostly guys who are at the top of the elite, the hierarchy of the echelon hierarchy, right? So when I talk about gynocentrism, and people say, "Well, show me where this is at," I can show it to you very easily in terms of the question you just gave me, which is, why is it that we don't see more Follow up. Why is it that we don't hear about these things? Why does it take Rollo Tomassi and CGA and the rest of these guys to do these shows to make us aware of this crap? Why am I the one who is collecting all of these stories? And by the way, I think it was something like 16 in the month of March or April. I think we had 16 of these individual instances. There was at least 12, I think, in April. Maybe it was May. May had 16. There was, there's has been anywhere between 10 and 16 instances in the last 3.5 months. Why is Rollo Tomassi, this Yahoo podcaster, crazy motherfucker, this red pill, schmuck out here? Why am I the one that's bringing this to light? Why should it not be The Blaze? Should it not be Daily Wire? Should it not be fucking Fox News or God forbid CNN? Should it not be these guys who are going out there and spending inordinate amounts of money, inordinate amounts of attention, inordinate amounts of effort on trying to figure out what are we going to do about this incel problem and these fucking radicals and everything like that? Why am I the one collecting all this data? Why am I the one that's doing this? Well, you don't know what you're talking about, Rollo. You don't have a degree in science. Well, okay, fine. Great. Where's the fucking data? Where's the work on this shit, man? Because if there is no boogeyman, nobody fucking gets paid. And you know who's not a boogeyman? And you know who's not going to get them paid? Going after female sex offenders that happen to be teachers as well. That's not going to happen. God forbid we go there. Because that would in some way mean we would have to get into the dark underbelly of female nature. And God forbid we do that. You would lose half of your fucking audience. I'm not worried about that. I can go places that these dumbasses can't go. There you go. This is a symptom of our society has stressed income and status at the complete expense of morals and values. Okay, well, you can get into the moralistic side of this, and I probably will a little bit here later. But the long and the short of it is I don't even think it's so much the economics of it. I think we put women into positions of power right now. They've gotten so comfortable that they think they're bulletproof. They think that there's no fear. There's no women, like even in some of these stories that I'm going to read to you that we'll keep reading here. Even Ricky Lynn Laughlin, she was saying, I didn't know he was a minor. What? The kid's like 15, 16 years old. He's a minor. You went to, do they not have classes where they teach you, what's appropriate and what's not? No, there are. And she knew damn well what she was doing, but we want to believe that. She even tells the judge, I didn't know he was a minor. That was part of her defense. I didn't know he was a minor. What? Because you don't know what the legal definition of a minor is, or you thought he was above the age of consent? How does this work? Right? Well, we don't hear that. We don't talk about that because the presumption is that the judge is going to understand what Ricky Lynn Laughlin is going to say. Well, she's going to side with me because, it was an honest mistake. I don't know. It was 16. Da, da, da. No, that constitutes statutory, what. So I don't necessarily think it's, I was hoping to give you my analysis later on. I'll give you a more detailed analysis later, Eric. But when people have asked me, why do you think this is going on, Rollo? First off, saturation. There's simply more teachers in education. There's simply more females in education. Men don't want to be teachers because they don't want to. So if there's going to be any kind of sexual impropriety in school and such, it's going to most likely probably be with a female because that's all there is. Well, not all there is, but that 80%, right? So just law of averages is going to say that that's the way it's going to be. That's number one. Number two is I don't necessarily agree 100% with the psychologist that was talking about, she wants to get back to her childhood and her passions. That might be part of it. I just think that that's incomplete. I think that it's making up for missing out. And as I said before, most of these women are married or are in committed relationships or have just gotten out of a divorce, but they all fit a similar archetype, a similar demographic. They all, by and large, there have been a few black girls, but by and large, they are largely white. They're largely blonde. They largely come from middle America, like suburban, Minnesota, Missouri, Midwestern states kind of thing. It's not to say that there aren't some in Florida, but I think the thing where we want to sort of cut them some slack is that we say, oh, well, they're damaged. There must be something psychologically wrong with them. And that's, I don't think so. I think this is just an opportunity for women to make up for missing out. And they think they can get away with it. And because of exactly the way that most men respond to this, which is, man, what a lucky kid. 16, man, I wish I could have had a chick that high. I wish my teachers would have been interested in, like, you know, bringing me over to their house and having a 4-way orgy. Boy, that would have been awesome, man. Boy, keep it up, bro. Good job, right? That's mentality that you'll see, like, almost on every single time I put a tweet out about any of these stories. That's like, it's within the first like 5 to 7 responses, if not the first. Where were these girls when I was his age? Right? That's number one. And so what happens is women will hear that and they'll go, oh, well, see, all guys want to, this is a fantasy for all guys. So what's wrong with it? You can say, well, it's the pornification of America. Okay, that might have something to do with it. But primarily, I'm going to say that it is women who are in their mid to late 20s who are making up for missing out. They're with a guy that they're just like, that's the beta that they settled for, or the guy that they thought was going to really rock their world. He doesn't. And now she spends 40 hours a week in the classroom with these same young men, young boys, teenage boys who look good to her, and it's all simply sexuality. Lastly, I need to point this out because I think this is probably the most obvious fucking thing in the world, but once again, mate switching hypothesis is bullshit. Say it with me, children. Mate switching hypothesis is horseshit. How do we know? We can look. Well, I can show you at least, let's see, 12 incidences of why it's bullshit from the month of March. I can show you another 16 in the month of May, because I'll tell you, every one of these girls that these women are having affairs with or having these sexual liaisons with who are underage, they're 100%, most definitely not getting with these kids because they have higher status, because they have more money. They might fall in love with them, which I think is fucking stupid. I love that when people say, well, in mate switching hypothesis, when a woman has an affair, an extramarital affair, 70% of them fall in love with their affair partner. How many of these chicks that have been with these kids, these underage guys, these underage students of theirs, how many of them fell in love with them? Like that's like the stupidest rationale for why this is a mate switching is some kind of fucking mating strategy. Get the fuck out of here. I can give you video after video. I've done it just today, just in the intro here. We've got more women saying, I would, that one chick in the intro video. If there was a guy and he was hot and he was the hot guy in the foam cannon party, basically, and I was drunk, he was cute, and one thing led to another, I would fuck him on the same night. I threw that video in there, and I'm going to hang on to that because it was almost verbatim the conversation I had years, almost a decade ago with when I was working in the wine and spirits with my poor girls. I would say, if you met a guy, would you ever have sex on the first date? Right. I included this in, I think it was my second book. I said, would you ever have sex on the first date? And the girls would go, well, not if he was boyfriend material. I wouldn't. I would make him wait. And I'm like, so if the guy was hot and he wasn't quote unquote boyfriend material, you'd fuck him on the same night. But if he was somebody that you thought you could have a long-term relationship, you would make him wait. That's chick logic for you. But I just work here, man. I'm just reporting the fucking news, right? That's girl math. You're right. It is. It's girl math. I would fuck the hot guy in the foam cannon party in Cancun on spring break. But if he was boyfriend material, no, man, you're going to wait for this cooter because, man, this is something else. You're going to want to, I want you to prove yourself to me. And again, what is that proof? Proof is in the pudding there, right? When we're talking about women break rules for alphas and they make rules for betas. You want to know where that comes from? The maxim. That's the maxim. Girl logic. Make the boyfriend, make the future husband, make the future father of your children wait for the pussy that you didn't make fucking Chad wait for when you were a college co-ed on spring break in Cancun. So taking that into let's use that, dynamic to segue into the next part here. When a woman is in a classroom setting with a younger guy, it's not because that kid is boyfriend material. There's only one reason that woman wants to get with that guy. And it doesn't have to do with his his 401k. It doesn't have to do with his crypto investments. It doesn't have to do with his fucking, five bedroom, 4,000 square foot home in the fucking Hamptons. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that she just wants to have some hot monkey sex with this kid. That's why. Can we please at least acknowledge that that's even a fucking possibility? No, we can't. What do you got? Flip here. Flip flop. Women in these positions just take advantage of the environmental opportunity they've got in the 21st century. Thank you. I would go with that before I would go with anything else. They know that societal backlash is next to none. Yes. So this is flip flop. That's a good point. In fact, I would say I would almost go with the fact that the environment, society, the expectations have led women to have a false sense of security about these things. And finally, there's so many of these things happening that we can see that this is an endemic situation. That meaning that it's way more common than people really want to admit that it is. Certainly more common, certainly more prevalent, certainly more frequent than incel shooters, than the Alex Manazians of the world, than the freaking Elliot Rodgers of the world. Just in the and again, I can't. It's very difficult to make comparisons of student-teacher sexual liaisons, which is a crime, is a felony, and a guy who like Elliot Rodgers who wants to go and have a rampage, killing people. So it's definitely a degree higher than that. I acknowledge that, just so you guys know. But the thing is a frequency is this. It's like, it's still a crime. It's still a felony. So, and it's still sexually related. Same thing with incels, although they're not having sex, right? It's involuntary celibate. Why are we not, with such prevalence, with such frequency, why are there not surveys? Why are there not research? Why is there not, multiple questions? Why are we not paying these poor girls $25 to take a survey as to why they banged their 15-year-old student? Why is that not something? Why is that not fucking priority? Because Progress Victory won't fucking pay for it, because the DNC won't pay for it, because the whatever counterterrorism organization that's funding your fucking studies, they don't want to. We're not paying for that. We want to know more about these guys because we're afraid that they might be radicalized to vote for Trump in November 5th. Fucking ludicrous, man. But I think you're right, Flip Flop. Just getting back to your point here. They know that the societal backlash is next to none. That's, I think, is the key element there. Now, I've talked about this, and I don't think we've ever talked about this on a podcast before, but I've written several essays about this. The most recent one was called "Why We Fight," and in "Why We Fight," I explain that women will start shit with other guys, so to test. It's like the ultimate shit test, right? They will start shit with other guys or other women whose boyfriends happen to be there to test the boyfriend that they have. Meaning they'll start shit just to start shit. They'll be confrontational because they want to start a fight that they're hoping that their boyfriend or their husband is going to be able to settle. It's going to be able, you need to show me that you have the capacity for violence. So I'm going to start some shit with this guy, and I want you to kick his ass. Let's you and him fight. That was the pickup artist parlance. That's what it's called. Let's you and him fight. And that kind of leads back to what I've said in the past, which is because we have empowered women really since the sexual revolution, but like for, let's just say, last 60 years, because we have empowered women to the point where they know that if they are slapping another guy or they're being physically violent with another guy, that if that guy retaliates by slapping back or punching back or trying to, well, you threw the first punch, so this is self-defense. If a man in any way tries to defend himself physically, that woman on some level of consciousness knows that the 10 guys that are in the club that are around him are going to jump in and jump on top of him. And usually that's the case. I'm not saying it's always the case, but usually that's the case. And so like when, for instance, when, was it recently, there was this spate, I guess, or there's a lot of the incidents of guys just going around like New York City and just like clocking girls in the eye. They would have like black eyes. Tim Pool was talking about this not too long ago. And he was like, good. Tim Pool said this. Good. They should. And people lost their shit on. So what do you mean? Where's the masculine? Tommy Lahren was saying the same thing. Brett Cooper comes up. Where are the masculine men who are coming to women's defense? Well, those guys, go to jail for defending that. They go to jail for punching that other guy out. That's why. That's number one. And so people go, well, you voted for this, fine. The other thing is guys will say equal rights and equal lefts. Okay, well, if you're gonna start shit, or if like you get hit and you want equal rights, well, it's up to you to defend yourself. Well, that's new world privilege with old world responsibilities for guys. So the responsibility to protect a woman is a masculine virtue or masculine duty, and most guys would agree with that. I get it, right? But the problem is that women simply don't appreciate that, and that's why I threw in that one video in the beginning there. And it will never be appreciated. So, in fact, the only thing that's appreciated is, how good you look, the money you have, your performance, everything else that guy was saying in that video as well. So the idea that there might be backlash, I think it has sort of, the way I'm going to sum this up. Okay, I've seen these videos, and I've actually seen this happen firsthand, where there'll be a bouncer at a club, and there'll be like a half drunk or fully drunk chicks trying to get into the fucking club. And the bouncer says, no, you're too hammered. You go home. I'll call you a cab, kind of thing. And then the woman like starts beating on the guy and everything. And the bouncer's just like, all right, game on. And he doesn't even like hit her. He just forces her out into the alleyway or forces her out into the street, kind of thing. And it's like with enough force to like sort of knock her down, push her down. And of course, people want there to be some sort of sympathy for the girl. The problem is like there's no sympathy because she's hammered. But she still believes, even drunk, she still has this false sense of security that somebody's going to come to her rescue if that's the case. And that's a problem you're going to have. Oh, he's going to come over? Okay, cool. We'll see. Yeah. So I think there's a false sense of security, like physical sense of security for women these days. And I think that kind of translates over to the idea that women are like in some way like untouchable when it comes to stuff like this. And to a larger degree, they are. Even when they get sentenced, they're not. It's always more lenient than it is for guys. Rollo, there will not be the same standard of justice when more women backing attorney generals, DAs, judges, and police. Yeah, exactly. Sean, thank you for that $100. I wish you had something to say. I would read it for you. Much appreciated. Actually, all proceeds go to Ned's Aqua Therapy, which is coming up on Tuesday. Or is it Tuesday? Yeah, whatever the 20th is. Yeah, Tuesday. Coming up soon. Is it Tuesday or Thursday? One of those days. On the 20th. I'm going to see if they'll let me do this, but like Ned has to go to hydrotherapy. You know what hydrotherapy is, Kyle? Yeah, for your dog. It's like they put them in an aquarium, like a big ass aquarium, and there's a plastic like treadmill of some sort. I don't know how they keep it like the electronics, but like they put him in there, and he has to like do one of these things in the aquarium. Very therapeutic. Yeah. So I asked the lady, I said, the therapist, I said, is it possible for me to live stream this or to like put this on Instagram? She says, we'll see. So we'll see what happens. I was minorly SA'd by my elementary school teacher. It was a minor event, so I wasn't traumatized by it. But I absolutely remember it. Yeah, a lot of guys have told me the same thing. Happy Father's Day, Rollo. Thank you, Feng Zhong. Hope I said that right. Happy Father's Day, Rollo. You are like the dad I never had. I have one daughter and 1,000 sons. Yes, that's a 40K reference. He passed in 2006 when I was 12, and no man's taught me to be a man. I saw FNF in 2002, and then later you. I'm now 29. I am building myself up through you, FNF, DCC, and CC. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Leon Verip. Been in the sphere for years. Just read the Rational Male. Never got. I was astounded by the depth. got so much value out of it, guys. If you haven't read it, go to Audible and get the audiobook. It will 10 times your growth. Thank you. Yes, please. It's available on Audible. Go to Audible. In fact, if you really want to do me a favor, go to the description down below. At the very bottom of the descriptions, you'll see the links to all my Audible stuff. And then those are like my affiliate links. I have to be an affiliate for my own fucking books on Audible. But if you do that and you click on that and you start an Audible account, you'll get a free copy because you're starting a new account. So they give you a free one. And if you use my book, then I get a little, what do I get? Like $50, $75? Just helps me out a little bit. But the links, if you want The audiobooks are all at the very bottom of of all of my descriptions. But yeah, please, especially audio right now. I think audio's doing really well these days, which is nice. It's nice something to say. Thank you for the props, though, my friend. I really appreciate that. Go if you haven't read my books. You can always go to the very first link, which is in the description there, and you can go to Amazon. You can get the print copy, which seems to be like selling better than even the Kindle these days. And then Audible's doing really well too. So please go check them out right now. See what everyone's talking about. Happy Father's Day. Give Ned lots of love and cheese tax. Yes, cheese tax. Cheese. But the something in the facts are the facts. If you want to pet the dog, then you got to pay taxes. God, I can't believe I still remember that. What do we got? I've unfortunately dated 2 BPD girls in the past and noticed that they borderline personality disorder, and noticed that they would provoke me to actually hit them. I never did. Did you ever experience the same? No, I never, because my mama brought me up, right? No, I never did, but I will say this: she got violent with me, and like to the point where I was like, it kind of like, am I in a violent relationship? She used to dig her like nails into my, literally a point where I would have like nail marks in my forearms, because that was how she like expressed like anger and violence and stuff. She knew now I'm like twice her size, right? But she used to dig her nails into my forearms. That was my first experience with that shit. Okay, let me let's continue a little bit more here. I have to show you some more of this. That was just a taste of all of this. Here we go. Okay, so we got through Ricky Lynn Laughlin. You want to put me up? Good. Oh, thank you, producer. Here we go. That's Ricky. Teacher number 1 for May. This was the first one for the month of May. Teacher accused of sexting and buying booze for students. Okay. Boy, she looks like a winner. But again, blonde hair, young. I want to say she's like mid-20s. Forget that chick. Okay, this girl was interesting here. Minnesota mom accused of having sex with boys of 15. Okay, this was the girl who had it with the I think it was the hockey players, wasn't it? Mary, Minnesota. Yeah, okay, that was the hockey girl story. Okay, I tracked her like through. That was February. Her story continues a little bit further. Okay, then I got people asking me what number is this for 2024. This was in February 12th. This was New York teacher 37 resigns after bathroom tryst. There you go. Let me see if I can look at this. Bathroom tryst. Teacher at prestigious Manhattan High School. Manhattan High School. This isn't the Midwest. This is in Manhattan. 37 had inappropriate relationship with male student 17. Now, of course, everybody's going to go, well, he was 17. Come on, man. Let me explain something to you. Just last week, I was talking about older men and younger women, right? And what did I say? I said the ideal age, according to Aristotle, not according to me, but according to Aristotle, the best age that men and women get together is 38 for men, 37 for men and 18 for women. People lost their fucking minds. How dare you? How could that possibly be? Well, why are you not losing your mind over Shoshana Leffler? She spent 7. Okay, so she was with this guy who was 17. She led into a locked bathroom and then handed a wad of cash to him. Shoshana Leffler spent 7 minutes in a locked bathroom stall with a teen at the high school for health, careers, and sciences. The Princeton graduate and PhD scientist, doctorate, was later filmed handing him a wad of cash on the school stairwell. Investigators concluded she was engaged in an inappropriate relationship. Can we just say they were fucking and she was paying to be fucked by the 17-year-old student? Can we just go there? All right. So you could probably make the case, oh, he's 17. So was it statutory rape? Probably not. But I don't know. It depends on what the age of consent is in the state of, I guess, New York, right? A high-flying teacher at the Manhattan school, at a Manhattan high school, has refused to explain what she was doing in a locked staff bathroom stall with 17-year-old pupil, while she later handed him a wad of cash in a stairwell. Shoshana Leffler remains licensed to teach after resigning from the high school for health careers and sciences last year rather than face questions over 17-minute tryst was partially caught on surveillance video. There you have it. All right, I won't go too much because we got a lot to get through here. Again, here we go. Arkansas teacher. This is May 2nd. May 1st. Where's May 1st? Oh, this is May 2nd. So we had one on May 2nd. Then we had another one on the same flipping day. Here we go. Arkansas teacher, 26, is charged with sexually assaulting a 15-year-old. She groomed at the church. Okay, this is the church situation. And by the way, was a teacher, so she does fit the bill. All right. Moving on. February 1st. Iowa teacher admits to having sex with boys as young as 13 shortly after her marriage. God, okay, we got sorry, this is too good. I gotta put this one up. Okay, here we go. Let me this is God. New York Post has got it going on, man. Here, there we go. Did that come up okay? Okay, I'm gonna close that video out because I don't want that to go off. Okay. Newlywed. I'm trying to hold on. Let me pull this out because it's going to slow shit down if I don't do that. Okay, here we go. Newlywed Iowa school teacher has admitted sexually abusing students as young as 13, leaving her facing up to 33 years in prison after already facing. I don't know if she actually did. After losing her job and short-lived marriage. Cassidy Krause, 24. Once again, a teacher at IKM Manning School got hitched in July just for new husband Zachary to file for divorce on August 28th. Oh boy, that's a rough one. When the abuse against at least 3 boys emerged, according to Fox News. 3 days before the divorce filing, the teacher tendered her resignation to avoid getting fired. School officials said she pleaded guilty Monday to one count of third-degree sexual abuse, 2 counts of lascivious acts with a child, and 3 counts of dissemination and exhibition of obscene materials to minors. We could keep going if you'd like, but this is there's our girl. Blonde, blue eyes. Yeah, blue eyes. 24. Oh, there she is at the Halloween. Boy, there you go. Would you hit that? Would you hit that, Kyle? If you were okay, not 13. If you were 15, would you hit that? Yeah, maybe not. She's not. Oh, okay. So maybe not too bad. Look at the guy. That's the guy she married. And then she's like, nah, I think I'm going to hit it with these youngsters. Now, is the story becoming a little more clear here? Okay, I'm not even going to read it just by looking at the imagery. I think the story becomes a little bit more clear. So let's see. Where did that go? Okay, let's go back to our original. There we are. Oh boy. There you go. Okay, that was let's see, February 1st. This was February 16th. This is number 6, by the way, for numbers for February. Mother of 2 on staycation, sexually abused teenage hockey players. Okay, that was that same girl. 24-year-old Wisconsin teacher. This is May 3rd. Teacher was arrested for sexual assault of a child that included making out with an elementary school student just 2 months before she was set to get married. I'm thinking the marriage part actually plays a big part in all of this.
Almost all married.
They're almost all married, or they're in a relationship, or that one girl is the hockey player girl. Like, well, she was older though. She was like 37. So but she was pissed off at her husband, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna nail these hockey players." Right? Jesus Christ. Okay, 24-year-old Wisconsin teacher Madison Bergman, an elementary school teacher, was arrested after the father of the 5th grader. Let's see, a 5th grader handed over text messages between Madison and the students where she allegedly told the victim she liked when he touched her and that she enjoyed making out with the victim. It all started when the fifth grader's mother overheard her child talking to Bergman on the phone. The mother contacted the victim's father about the situation, When the police searched Bergman's bag, they found handwritten notes between the pair. It is unclear what was written on them. Yeah, unclear. I bet it was very clear. They just don't want to tell you what was on it. The Madison faces one count of first-degree child essay. The 24-year-old teacher has been suspended and is not allowed to have contact with any parents, students, or faculty members associated with the Hudson School District. She is not allowed on school property and cannot attend school activities. Well, thank God for small favors there. All right, let's keep moving. Look, every fucking week, married teacher who went viral when adoring class surprised her. Oh boy. New York Post. Here we go. Married teacher who went viral when adoring class surprised her on Good Morning America pleads guilty to sex with student up to 30 times. Oh my God. An Arkansas teacher, once surprised on national TV by adoring students, has pleaded guilty to having sex with a high school boy up to 30 times. Married mom, Heather Hare, 33, first made headlines in 2020 when she was surprised on Good Morning America by students bidding her goodbye as her home economics class was discontinued for distance learning during the pandemic. She now potentially faces life behind bars, pleading guilty Monday to transporting a minor across state lines in unlawful sexual activity. I will not continue any further because she fits the bill perfectly. Number 7 for February, Davies teacher resigns amid investigations. Lincoln, that's Lincoln, Nebraska, I believe. Kristen Cassiarnio. Okay, you're getting the picture here. All right, keep going. What the fuck is happening? New Jersey teacher groomed and groped her student with a 14-year-old girl. This is the first time this has been sort of a lesbian thing in a school hallway. It makes me wonder. I almost, do I want to do this? Do I really want to do this? Okay, let's see what are some of the responses to this. We had a gym teacher who used to come in and watch us shower. She would later make us open our towels so she could check. Schools have been breeding this depravity for decades. Send the bear. That's pretty good. Third-party pedo groups have invaded the entire school system with the help of the city lawyers. Blah blah. Okay, I was just looking for because one thing is like whenever I look at the ones where it's like it's female on male, it's usually they're like, oh, I wish I would have had that when I was a kid. Same shit. New year. Here we go. January 9th, Missouri math teacher was arrested for 4 warrants of messing around with a 16-year-old student. The father of the teenager was also arrested for knowing about the relationship and not reporting it to the police. Wow. Stating that the 26-year-old teacher was messing around with a 16-year-old student minimizes the fact that the child was a victim of statutory rape. Minors cannot legally or cognitively consent to adults, especially when the adults are in a position of power. All right. So that was, let's see, January. That was for January. Sorry. But still, I think it sort of counts. February 22nd, at least 6 female teachers were arrested in the span of 2 days this week for having sex with students. Let's keep going. There's more. Why are we not? Why is Rolo doing this? Why aren't anybody in a position of authority? Why are you psychologists not following along? Where is this? Where's the survey? Where's the research? I don't know. Teacher rapist number 6 for May. Gatesville ISD teacher arrested for sending nude. Yeah. Oh, well, do you want nudes from this? Look, Kyle. Do you want nudes from her?
I'm 101 Dalmatians.
Yep. Nude photos to 15-year-old student Christine Cockrell. I'll just leave it there. Allegedly sent sexually explicit messages to an 8th grade boy at Gatesville Junior High School. May 8th, 2024. Okay, keep going. Oh, this is back in December. Maybe this shouldn't count. Teacher charged with sex abuse after 13-year-old boy's stepfather discovers text exchange with hearts. So here we go. Gosh, this is from People Magazine, people.com. That was back in 2023. I don't think that should count for this year, though, but just to give you a little bit of context. Here we go. March 9th. As I said, there were more in March than any other month. Breaking news. Covington, Tennessee female teacher impregnated by a 12-year. Oh, this is going to be good. 12-year-old student, over 20 potential victims. Let me give you this here. Here we go. Can we hear that?
You have to mute the audio on your side from your window.
Do I? Oh,
Through StreamYard?
that's okay. You can get the idea. I don't need to go too crazy on this. God, can you imagine? There she is, getting frog marched away. Let's see if there's any more. Do I have to do it on my side? Is that how it works?
Yeah, on the StreamYard, you have to.
I have to unmute it. Is that how I do it? Oh no, it's going to double up if I do that.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to reshare it and share audio.
Okay. Well, no big deal. Actually, let me see if I can do that. Hang on. Just for shits and giggles, because I'm not really sure if this is going to work. It does say share audio. Maybe it's because I swung back.
Create enough evidence with
Okay, here we go.
news. A Tipton County, Tennessee. Guys, this is breaking news. A Tipton County, Tennessee grand jury has indicted 38-year-old elementary teacher Alyssa McCommon. Alyssa McCommon was indicted today on 23 counts of S offenses against minors, many of which were her students. Investigators say that they have identified 21 potential victims. However, only 5 of those they've been able to substantiate enough evidence with to bring these charges. And with those 5 students, there are 23 counts, and I'm going to tell you what they are. But first, I want to remind you that Alyssa was initially arrested back in September after these allegations came to light in regards to one potential news. A Tipton County, Tennessee. Guys, this is breaking news. A Tipton.
Let me pull that out here. Okay, so can we go back? Oh, there we go. Much better. Okay. Let's go down. If you want to have any idea of how many there are, this is just absolutely insane. This is how many there are. Okay, I got to her. Okay, here we go. Next up. Okay, so this was March 9th when they finally got her. Teacher who had baby with. Oh, this one is funny. What was it? She was impregnated by a 12-year-old student. By the way, I don't know how the rules work in Tennessee, but I do know this is that there have been instances of kids who are like 15, 16, 17 years old who have impregnated their teachers, and they are responsible for child support for those kids. Depends on the state, though. Teacher who had baby with a former pupil told him every inch of you is perfect. Again, 20s and mid 20s. Man, it looks like she's mid 20s. Blonde hair, blue eyes, suburban girl. Let me go there. I can keep going. And that was May 14th. This was December 22nd. I probably shouldn't include this. Female music teacher at boarding school romped. Is that what we're going to call statutory grape now? Romped with her pupil in her car. And here's her statutory rapist teacher for the week. Okay. Remember, I've been keeping track of these for quite some time. Let's see, March 16th. This was, again, just this last March. This case originally started with one victim last year, but let's see. But since then, detectives say they found 21 possible victims, and 23 charges are related to 5 of those victims who range from 12 to 17. Okay, that was that same girl from Tipton. Toxic femininity, New York City teacher fired. This is May 14th. New York City teacher. This is a different one. New York City teacher fired after texting student 28,000 times. Sex allegations is now teaching at a different school. Can't fucking touch me. Literally said, can't fucking touch me. I thought this is kind of like this is a. I thought this was interesting. This is a school teacher right here, just showing off her ass on TikTok.
I've seen some of those videos.
You seen that? Yeah.
Yes. There's like the Alabama school where this girl's like shooting her OnlyFans work.
Can I get this on?
Is the audio not playing?
Another
That's
day.
okay. Oh, there you go.
I love my outfit today. I'm obsessed with these pants. They're Abercrombie. They're the pleather pants. They just have the best fit. I've had them for 3 years, and I just always find myself reaching for them. This is a cashmere sweater from Off Saks. I'm not sure if I should tuck it in. Maybe I'll tuck in the front, and my Zadig and Voltaire sneakers. That's it. Have a good day.
That's what your teachers are wearing in a classroom, guys. Right there. That's what fathers. This is what the teachers in your public school are doing. All right. Let's. Oh, that was from that one. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. Well, this is when I was talking about the incel thing. I was always wondering, like, why is it? Again, why are we not putting more effort into? No, I don't think I've seen anybody put even this amount of, like, the minimal amount of effort I've done for the last 3 months into this. Colin Rugg, thank you very much. New public school teacher Kevin Weeks arrested in Albany, Oregon after driving 90 miles to meet up with a minor as documented. Okay, this is one of those things to catch a predator. Okay, accused pedo was charged with first-degree online sexual corruption. Now, why am I putting this into this mix? Because we don't see any of this shit happening. Was it Myron Gaines was doing like some sort of like to catch a predator kind of thing anymore. You know, Myron, here's what you need to do. You really want a really good show, Myron? I'm going to give it to you. This is free. Start hunting down these chicks who are like the fucking the female teachers. Go there. Ask them, why the fuck are you cheating on your husband? Like, you want to, it's like the best of both worlds, right? You want to do a to catch a predator, and you want to have something that's like hold women accountable. Here you go. You mix the two. You got to mix your passions there, my friend. Why are they not? Why does that not happen? Right? Breaking. Mom finds a teen son having sex with a high school teacher in car. I've got more on that one later on here. This is March 31st. Teacher 25 sobs as she's spared jail after having sex with teen schoolboy. Spared jail. We should look at that one. Hold on a second here. Teacher 25 sobs as she's spared jail after having sex with teenage schoolboy. McKenna Kindred broke down in tears as she apologized and said she was deeply ashamed. The teacher broke down in tears after hearing she would be spared jail for having sex with a teenage student. McKenna Kindred, 25, apologized to her victim and said she was deeply ashamed after pleading guilty on Thursday to sexual misconduct with a minor and communication with minor for immoral purposes. There's your immorality. Cha-ching. The former Washington high school teacher received a sentence of 2 years probation in addition to $700 worth of fines and requirements that she's registered as a sex offender for the next 10 years. Her relationship with the student reportedly began in 2022 after the victim found her Instagram account. So you get off with a slap on the wrist and $700, and well, I mean, I guess you're technically a sex offender for the next only 10 years, right? Okay, catching up again. The vetting process for hiring teachers or working around students needs to be vastly more complex and strict. Here's the list. Okay, there you go. We have one black one. This is the first one of a black woman here. Okay, Pennsylvania. Where was this? I don't know what this one is. Substitute teacher. Once again, former Maryland teacher. Okay, can we now safely assume that this is not just some bad apples? Nope, we can't. Okay, let's keep going. Tampa woman posed as homeschooled 14-year-old to molest middle schoolers. Would you like to see this one? Thank you, New York Post. Another one from New York Post. They're really on top of their game with this shit, aren't they? Okay, let me read it to you. How old do you think? Oh, wait. How old do you think she is? How old do you think she is?
26.
26. Anybody else? A Florida woman. Our first Florida entry. Pretended. Hold on, I'm going to stop that. Pretended to be a 14-year-old homeschooled child to prey on middle schoolers for sex. Police announced Friday. Alyssa Anzinger, 22 years old, was arrested last week for allegedly engaging in at least 30 sexual acts with at least one student and sending explicit videos to several more. It's disturbing and unsettling to see an adult take advantage of a child and prey on them, Tampa Police Chief Lee Bearclaw said in a statement. Okay, 22 years old. Does she fit the bill? Absolutely, she does. Blonde hair, got them eyes looking at, got that 1,000 cock stare. Yep. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Public schools are infested with predators. 3 female teachers are charged with having three predators in one. 3 female teachers are charged with having sex with underage students in the same Arizona town. One rumbled by husband finding her stash of sick love letters. 3. Now, the only reason I got this is because one of these chicks was in March, so I get one of these 3, but still 3. Got a 3 for her on that one. Okay, Colin Rugg again. He seems to be on top of these. Just in. Okay, this is May 19th. Just in, Arkansas high school teacher sentenced to 13 years in prison after she was accused of raping one of her minor students. 33-year-old. Oh, at least she's got dark hair. Heather Hare was sentenced for transporting a minor across state lines. Okay, I think I already talked about her before, but still. All right, keep going. Okay, I think I threw this out there. Boy, I would love to see what this one was. The women are just the teachers who raped their male students in 2017. There are dozens more since. The men you're posting. Okay, this was my response to Not So Erudite, who is a paid political shill for Progressive Victory, and she knows this. Okay, this was Alyssa's, that same girl, Alyssa Ann Zinger. Hit with sex charges for posting as a teenager for having sex with a 12 to 15-year-old boys. This is her on her TikTok. Oh, we got to hear this. There's probably music I can't play, but whatever. Okay, we don't want to put the music on because I'll get a strike. There she is. That was her. Proudly. Boy, it almost looks like she's like in like Handmaid's Tale. Here you go. All right, let's keep going. There's so much more. Why do female teachers predators get less time than male teachers? It's been reported that 25 female teachers have been arrested and in 16 states in only the last 12 months. Actually, there's a lot more than that. And that is feared only by the feared is only the tip of the iceberg. Okay. Once again, well, we already know Alyssa here. Okay, this was the one I want. This is the black girl. We finally got a black girl in all this. A black gal here. High school teacher arrested after caught having relentless. God, where's my like taboo? Where's my porn music when I need it? After relentless rounds of car sex with her students. Okay, that's our girl. Just so you guys know. All right. We're going to come back to her, but she was having relentless sex. Got it? And that was back in December. So sorry, it doesn't count for the time period. Forever. Oh God. I feel bad for her husband. Seriously. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Married teacher. 32. This is a different one. Accused of raping a boy, 11, on her bed after sending him nude photos and $700. She was caught in cops' sting, telling him she couldn't get pregnant if they had sex again. Keep going. Here we go. This is June. This was from June. Breaking news. Woke Arizona school counselor who helped organize drag shows for her students arrested and accused of having sex with 15-year-old girl. There's another one with a girl finally. So we've got 2 girls. We've been told that the teachers talking to the kids about sex, fantasies, orientation doesn't lead to grooming. Ha, ha, ha. All right, well. It's funny is like she would be the last. This girl right here would be the last one I would suspect of it because she doesn't fit the Barbie doll, 24 blonde, blue-eyed master race chick. Yes. I put this down. This was back in November. I said, if male teachers were engaging in statutory rape with female students with the frequency we see female teachers doing so, a national crisis would be declared. There'd be marches in the streets and a congressional inquiry panel would be approved and funded overnight. This was November 21st last year. Glamorous Mississippi art teacher, 27, is arrested for sending inappropriate pictures to a 16-year-old student. Busted when another child found out, probably jealous. He's like, hey, she won't do me. Fuck it, I'm gonna report you asshats. Yep.
was that kid that got mad because the teacher was buying the other kid Disney tickets and Xbox. And he's
Mhm.
like, I can't have that.
Glamorous. Does she look glamorous to you? But again, fits the bill. Blonde haired, kind of has that kind of waspy look to her. Man, you got to watch out for chicks like that, man. They're gonna be tigers in bed. You better, like, guys, really. I mean, you know what? Maybe this is just because they're underfucked. Maybe they need like pickup artists to come and like. So it will take PUAs to save these poor kids from these predators. If we're doing our job right. Teacher rapist number 2. This is for the month of April. Nebraska deputy. Again, look at that face. Almost looks identical. Well, not identical, but sort of has that. They're all in the same sorority. Nebraska deputies catch naked married substitute teacher in car with student. Chase ensues that ends in vehicle crashing. That bitch wanted to get away. She was like, it's like fucking Thelma and Louise, man. I'm out. Death or glory. It was worth it. I'd do it again. That was number 2 for April, and that took place on April 14th is when I picked up that one. Here we go again. This chick, Brian. This was Heather Hare. Now, I kept following her because this story kept playing out when people were throwing this stuff. Teachers preying on their students seems to be a silent epidemic these days. Silent. Not so. It's not silent. It's only silent because asshats don't want to fucking cover this shit. That's why. Former Bryant teacher sentenced to 13 years in federal. This is when she was sentenced. Okay, so that's why I followed up on this. 13 years in federal prison for sex with students. So finally, we see her go to prison. I wonder how long she'll be there. Why is this happening so much? 2 teachers had a 9-hour threesome with students. Wow. There you go. Once again, married 37-year-old New Jersey high school teacher caught. Boy, New Jersey's where you want to go for this, man. Yeah, you know what? Myron, if you're going to catch a female teacher predator, I think New Jersey's probably the state you need to start in first. Oh man! Oh, this was actually reported on World Star. I would play the video, but I'd probably get a strike for it. Married 37-year-old New Jersey high school teacher caught having sex with 16-year-old student. There's another one. I'd play the video for you, but I'll probably get a strike. This was our same girl, Heather. I think this is Heather again. Married high school student, 33rd, or GMS jailed for 13 years. Okay, that was her. Here's some more. I think I picked up on this one here because there was just so many. This was like, we were just doing searches at this time. Remember, all of this kind of took place from like February through where we're at right now. Okay. Why are so many female teachers? Ex-teacher. Notice like I said, the physiognomy of these chicks. There's definitely, they share very similar stories. They tend to be like married to these guys who you go, why the fuck would they be with them? Oh boy, now we come to the good one. Here we go, people. Oh man, this is so good. I actually have to read you this story. New York Post, because this one got crazy real quick. Okay. This one got out of hand. All right. Nebraska. Really? What is going on in Nebraska? Holy mother of God. Why Nebraska? Okay. Okay, I already got to that one. Nebraska. Here we go. Sorry. There's so many of these. I'm like trying to like keep up with all of them. Okay, here we go. Nebraska student teacher caught naked in car with a teenage student is a mom married to, get this, Harvard-educated, high-ranking government employee, according to records and social media accounts. Erin Ward, 45. Wow, she's actually the oldest of the cohort so far. Maybe doesn't. Well, she looks like she's drunk, but maybe still fits the physiognomy thing. Hold on, let me share this tab instead. There we go. Erin Ward, 45, allegedly confessed to having sex with a 17-year-old boy. I guess, I don't know what the consent age is in Nebraska, but I would presume it might be 18. It seems like one of them kind of, it's a flyover state, so yeah. A student at Burke High School where she worked in the back of the car was charged with a felony sexual abuse by a school employee. By sleeping with the teen, Ward is also accused of cheating on her husband, a director at the U.S. Department of Defense. with whom she shares 3 kids, according to social media posts shared by the Gretna couple. Oh boy. Doug Ward has spent nearly 2 decades with the U.S. Strategic Command, one of the unified combat commands within the Defense Department, headquartered at the Offloop. Oh, is this what it was? In Nebraska. Oh, sorry. This just in. In Nebraska, the age of consent is 16 years old. This means that the state believes that someone at this age is old enough to understand the implications of sexual activity and can be legally give their consent. However, there is no Romeo and Juliet law in Nebraska, which is another name for close in age exemption. This means that if 2 teens who are close in age, then the 17-year-old could face statutory rape charges. Oh wow. Okay. Additionally, a person who is 19 years of age or older and subjects another person to sexual penetration when the victim is at least 12, but less than 16 years of age, so between 12 and 16, is guilty of sexual assault in the first degree. A person over the age of 18 who engages in sexual activity with a person between 12 and 22 years, all old, might also find themselves facing criminal charges. Thank you for that. And for the legalities of everything that's going on in Omaha, Nebraska. I just thought it was interesting because Doug Ward, this is Doug Ward, by the way. Doug Ward began his career as deputy branch chief in 2005 and was promoted to deputy director of the Commander's Action Group in February. His profile states Doug's educational career. Okay, that gives you his background. Aaron Ward was arrested, allegedly fooling around with a teenage boy. Okay, so technically, you can't really call it statutory rape because he's 17, but she is a teacher. There you go. Is this her? This is Aaron Ward. Look at this. This is Aaron Ward when she looks good. This is Aaron Ward when she's like just got picked up. That's what you're dealing with, guys. Face app is a real thing. My friends, Face app works. You use it today. I wish I had an affiliate link for Face app. Officers responded to a call for a suspicious car parked at a dead end street around 3 a.m. When they peeked into the vehicle, they saw the naked substitute teacher with the partially clothed teen in the back seat. The sheriff's office said the panicked teen hurried to the driver's seat and sped off in the vehicle, but crashed 2 blocks later, at which point he got out and fled on foot, half naked. You'll never take me alive. Aaron Ward remained in the car where she got dressed and then allegedly confessed to sleeping with the boy. Police found her ID from Omaha Public Schools on her. And she said, you mean, I don't think they were on her. They might have been on her later. She said she substituted at various schools in the area, including the teens. There you go. How do you like that? You like apples? How do you like them apples? Put me back in. There you go. Let's see. We should keep it up. Shall we keep it going? We should keep it going. Actually, let me get these real quick. Here we go. Got to jump in. At some point, I got to jump in. All right. I'm shocked, Rollo, that you haven't played the damn Van Halen song yet. Let me tell you something. Warner. Like, I can't play it for obvious reasons, right? But it wasn't Hot for Teacher that I was going to play. You know what song I really was hoping I almost was ready to take the copyright hit for this. I wanted to play Don't Stand So Close to Me by The Police. That is this episode is. I was actually going to title, like I was going to put it on the thumbnail, Don't Stand So Close to Me, but I don't think people would have got it. Like only Gen Xers would fucking get it. Right? These are all of the reported incidents. How many go unreported? It's a good question. I wish I knew. And what do we got here? Went on a date with this 5'10" girl some weeks ago. Nothing happened but a few kisses. I'm 5'8". She didn't want to make plans again. Today, she texts me saying she would love to set me up with a friend. She's a fair 6. What gives? She feels bad. She got buyer's remorse from you, and then she feels bad about it. And now she wants to give you the consolation prize, which is her friend. Because because the dude that she was waiting for while she was fucking around, while she was kissing you or fucking around, flirting with you, that guy panned out. You didn't, and now she feels bad, and so she's gonna pass you off to her best friend, who's a fair 6. Yeah. Would you like to know what you're supposed to do now? Nothing. Eject. Tell that bitch to go to hell. That's what you're supposed to do. There you go. That is it. It was good. The police song though, it is about a man. But you know what? I think if you like reverse the sexes in that song, it's pretty close. Pretty close. Well, guys, I'm sorry. You guys asked me for this. You really, really wanted me to do this. So people kept saying, "Well, when are you gonna do the teacher show, man?" Well, I mean, I had to do this. You have to appreciate all the hard work I've done for you guys here. Okay, women being awful. May 25th, Cougars in the classroom. The alarming rate of teachers charged with raping young boys in America. I'm just reading this. That's not my words. This is from April, but I picked this up in May. Okay. So Arkansas, Missouri, Texas, Illinois, Virginia, Oklahoma. I didn't even pick up on these last two. Or maybe not Texas. I didn't pick up on that girl. Wow. Okay. Let's keep going. This is in November. Ohio social worker Peyton Shires, 24. Look at that face. Look at that dude. Here, let me put this up. There you go. Look at that face. Look at that dude who is accused of having sex with 13-year-old boy, most definitely below the age of consent. She was counseling, had been wedding planning with her fiance, was a new mother, and backed the death penalty for pedos. Wait. Put me. What could? I wonder what happened to her. All right, put it back. There you go. Okay. So yeah, where'd they go? Okay. Look at the face though. Like she looks. I mean, she's not bad. She's a hard 7, I would say. I mean, it's all right. Maybe got fake titties. Whatever. I like fake titties though. Jeez, man. Yeah. So she started. I wonder. Now, here's the other thing. People are going to ask me this, and I'm just going to answer just to sort of head you off at the pass here. Judge, she's too pretty. She has to go to jail. Case dismissed. How many of these guys stick by these chicks? How many of these dudes? I think that's really the guys. Okay, let me tell you something. Will Costello, was it Dr. Thomas, whatever the fuck your name is, Andrew Thomas. Guys, here's my advice to you. Give up on the incel thing. It's going to be dead in the water after November 6th anyways. Start focusing on this shit right now. Start focusing on these female predator teachers. Serious. You won't do it. I know. I know it's a pipe dream. But when you're doing so, be sure to ask them if their husbands or their boyfriends still stuck it out with them and still wanted to make it work and still forgave them. That I want to know. That if that's not part of the survey, I don't want to. Your survey is incomplete. And they were getting married. Yep. This was the U.S. Attorney guy, Doug Ward. This was another follow up on that. Thought that was interesting. A glamorous Christian high school teacher is teacher rapist number 1 for June. Here we go with June. June's offenders. Let's see if I can pull this one over here. Here we go with June. Glamorous Christian high school teacher, 31, learns her fate after having sex with a student in a parking garage after the junior senior ball. Lindsay Westerfield this is a different girl, has pleaded guilty to first-degree sexual misconduct. A Christian high school teacher. So it's not just public schools, people. In Washington State has been sentenced to 6 months of house arrest. Only 6 months of house arrest for having sexual relationship with a student. Lindsay Westerfield pleaded guilty to several counts of first-degree sexual misconduct with a minor at Cascade Christian School in 2019. This is when she got arraigned, I guess. 2019, and we're just now hearing about this shit? What the fuck, man? Detectives opened the investigation into her years ago, but progress was stalled until 2022 when they learned she was trying to work on the Charter School Commission It was then that the victim, now 23, he was 23 back then. So it would have been 2019. So that would have made him probably made him, what, about 18, 17? It was then that the victim, now 23, also came forward with additional details about their encounters. Here we go. Guilty, 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 guilty. Two of the encounters in Westerfield was ultimately charged with occurred after the victim turned 18, but in Washington state, law prohibits sexual relationships between students under the age of 21 and school employees who are at least 5 years their senior. So technically no, but like definitely as far as the school is concerned. Westerfield resigned from her position at the Christian Academy in 2019, shortly after the investigation was opened. In addition to house arrest, the former teacher will be required to register as a sex offender. The teacher and victim communicated via Snapchat and met up at one another's houses and in parking garages, and even once after the school junior senior ball. Okay, that was a ball. God. Let's go back to this one. And did I get that? I did. Oh. All right. So I read you that. Let's keep going. Oh, there she is again. I think this is when she was getting arraigned. Okay, here's another one. The convicted female 33 pedo teacher essay of a boy 14 gets no criminal charges and no time in jail versus any female says that a man that looked at her with sexual desire, man gets put in jail for a minimum of 10 years. This is the world we live in. There you go. Here we go again. Rational male. Female teacher resigns after this was so fucking great. Resigns after asking students if he'd like a foursome. There we go. Two Wisconsin female high school student teachers resign after asking student if he'd like a foursome with one also sending the youngsters photos of her in lingerie. I hope it was this one because the other one is absolutely hideous. There we go. Two female high school teachers forced to resign. We're going to force you to resign. You mean they're not going to do it voluntarily? Alexia Salderas quit Joseph Craig High School in Janesville, April 22nd. And then Jennifer Larson on May 14th. Both teachers were on a school trip with male students April 7th and to the 9th. Investigation found some incriminating Snapchat. Like, ladies, if you're going to like set up banging one of your students, Snapchat ain't the way to go. Like, you want to know one commonality in all of this? Snapchat. What the fuck are you thinking? Oh, it'll disappear. Do you think that they can't do a screen cap? Come on now. Salderas admitted to sending the student 5 photos of herself in lingerie and kissing the student during the trip. The director's report summary read. Larson admitted to exchanging messages involving cuddling, flirting, and implication of alcohol. The message both teachers sent told the students they wanted to cuddle and have fun with him and asked the other students if they could join in. Salderas then met up with a student April 9th and gave him the keys to a school district van used on the trip so he could take laps of the car park. While she was changing her shoes in the back of the van, the pair kissed, according to the report summary. This is one of the chicks right here. Who is this? This is Jennifer Larson. God, I hope it wasn't her with the lingerie. That evening, when she sent the racy photos to the students and made plans in Snapchat messages to meet the next weekend. Like, this is like it's amazing to me that like there's not even like an afterthought about, maybe that somebody, the people talk, right? Maybe something's going to happen with all this. It's not even an afterthought. Oh God, this is Jennifer Larson right here. Okay. She wants to cuddle, but Salderas, that chick wants to fuck. Oh, did I? Is it still on that one? Okay, there she is. Can you see it now? Yeah. There you go. Okay, sorry. God. Okay, so my bad. This is Jennifer Larson. She wants to cuddle, but Salderas, this chick wants to fuck. Definitely just wants to fuck. Salderas admitted to sending the student photos of herself in lingerie. Oh, thank God. Thank God it wasn't this one. Nothing more happened between any of the trio that weekend, but the situation began to unravel the day after the trip. Larson reported to a colleague, Alison Bjork, for letting the student drive that van. Salderas responded by sending the student a Snapchat message that morning telling him the relationship needed to end, the report summary stated. Then, on the morning of the April 11th, another teacher confronted a group of students who were laughing around a phone and saw the photos in her lingerie of Salderas. The teacher went straight to Bjorn, saying that he was Bjorn. I'm just going to say Bjorn because it sounds better. It's more Nordic. Saying she was 95% sure the photos they were laughing at were of Salderas and lingerie. School officials confronted the teachers and they found out more about what had happened and both admitted what they did. They were put on administrative leave. Where's the part where they're... Okay, I guess that's it. Anyways, they were trying to set up Can I go back? No, I can't. All right, let me get out of that. And now I'm back to me. Hang on. Just a few more. Just one more. Let's just do one more here. Hang on. I know, guys. I know, but you made me do this. I just fucking work here. I just do what my employer tells me to do, okay? Here we go. You guys. This is, by the way, this is comprehensive work here. This is over the course of technically 4 months, I guess. There we go. Decatur, the former Decatur public police. Okay. There we go. A female teacher in boy grape case appears in court. Decatur. The former Decatur Public Schools substitute teacher who police said confessed to raping an 11-year-old boy after claiming he had made sexual advances to her Wednesday in Macon County Circuit Court. Allie E. Barfield, 32, kind of still has that look. There's that straight blonde hair and that straight blonde hair and 1,000-cock stare. There you go. That's how you know they're predators. Judy and hearing and told Judge Lindsay Shelton she was pleading not guilty to one count of predatory criminal sexual assault. Sure you are. Let's see. That was a repeat of that one. There you go. Florida woman 34. This just in. Florida woman 34 is arrested for raping her husband's autistic younger brother and giving birth to his child because it made her feel good after calling the cops to claim she was sexually assaulted. That was in December though. There you go. I think that's enough for today. You get the idea. So in the month of February is really when I started. When I started keeping track of for stuff for today's show. But in the month of February, I believe there was something like, I think I tracked like 6 in February, but it was towards the end of the month. And then March, we had at least 10 in March. We had something like 12 or 14 in April. We had close to 16 in May. And we have, I think we're probably up to like 4 or 5 right now in June. So June's kind of slacked off a little bit. Okay. So I want to now dig into a little bit, go a little bit deeper in all of this. And because people are going to ask me the obvious here, like, why do you think this is happening, Rollo? And I think the most obvious answer, as I said before, is that it's just simply saturation. There's simply more female teachers. What I want to know is, again, why am I the one that's keeping track of this? I know other podcasters are, and that is us podcaster guys, people, we don't count. Right? We need the professionals. We need the fucking gatekeepers of evolutionary psychology to take over this. We need somebody to do some comprehensive studies on this stuff because apparently no one else wants to touch this except for us and those damn red pill guys, right? There they are again. Well, when we bring stuff to light like this, as I was saying before, whenever you use the language of empiricism versus the language of emotionalism, empiricism always sounds like hate, and nothing sounds more like hate when it's something that is unflattering to female nature. So number one is I think that this is happening in a particular demographic because that particular demographic of women tend to have very, if not always, but very common commonalities, right? They tend to be married. They tend to marry early. They're all teachers, of course. There's more teachers, of course, that we know, but then and that they all tend, with a few rare exceptions. There's some black teachers as well. There was at least two black women who were incidences of this. But again, we also live in a time that is social media driven. As I was showing you, one of the reasons why I put that one girl in there to show you off her TikTok video where she's in the middle of, looked like a grammar school class. It didn't even look like middle school. But she's wearing this outfit, this tight-fitting black clothes, tight-fitting, showing off her shoes, showing off what she's, look, this is so sexy, blah, 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 blah. Why would that, I'm not saying every chick is like this, but why would that be in any way appropriate? And why would that, and I'm not the safety police. I'm not the appropriate police. I'm not the guy who's trying to I want chicks to wear whatever the fuck they want to wear. And as depending on if you got the body, the less the better. Okay, I'm the last person who's gonna like complain about girls like dressing up in skimpy outfits. I like that. I gotta draw the line though. If you're teaching kids who are in first, second, third, fourth, and fifth fucking grade, though, I think maybe if you're gonna be in OnlyFans, if you're gonna be an FHM model, there are plenty of women that I know who have kids that are in the business, that are in porn, that are in modeling, that are in OnlyFans, and they have kids, right? I understand that. I got you. This is in no way a hit on them. You do what you got to do. But the thing is, I do have to draw a line when it comes to public school teaching. I've got to draw the line there because and I can totally understand why school administrators would have a problem with that. I'm not saying one necessarily leads to the other, because I know that correlation is not causation, sure. But we do live in an era where women it's never been easier for women to sort of fulfill that attention need. And if you've read my first book, and if you haven't, I suggest you do, but in that book, I have a chapter in there called Your Attention, Please. And in there, I have one of my more famous quotes, which is that attention is the coin of the realm in girl world. Anybody who's, by the way, I've had a million other people rip that off. This is the quote. Attention is the coin of the realm in girl world. Now, all attention is not the same. So, for instance, a lot of people say, well, these women were married. They look good. They look like they had a great life. The one chick was married to a guy who worked at the State Department, right? Why would that seem like a great idea? Why would she must be damaged. She must be an alcoholic. She must be on weed. She must be on fucking, I don't know, Molly or whatever the fuck she's doing. There must be something that explains, I don't know, let's see, 6 in February, 10 in March, 12 or 14 in April, 16 in May, and then God knows where we're at right now, like 5 in June. And I will tell you this, by all indications, it's not slackening up. If anything, it's intensifying that much more. There is something going on, and it is not because there is some sort of societal collapse or some sort of fucking degeneracy or some fucking psychological damage, emotional damage. These are chicks who got into teaching. These are chicks who have a very similar look, physiognomy, but not all. They follow the same sort of life pattern, marry young, mostly to what I would consider beta males, at least by all appearances anyways. And for the most part, those guys actually stick it out with those women afterwards, assuming they don't go away for 30 years to life, depending on the age of their victims. And I'm going to start saying victims. So when we start talking about how lucky these guys are to have had the sexual attentions of a woman who is 24 years old and they're 15 or what, I'm just like, I don't even want to think about 14 or 12 or whatever. But let's just say even 15, like, oh man, I wish I would have had a chick who was, like that when I was 50. Where are those teachers now, man? They were like all the girls, all the women in the cafeteria were ugly. Or Nurse Judy, school there. Like battle axe woman, right? Guys, I hate to I'm not that guy. I'm not Mr. Morality. I'm not the guy who's going to tell you what's ethical and what's moral. But I will say this is that there's definitely commonalities to all this. There's definitely something going on here And it's not because of psychological damage. It's not because of emotionality. It's not because of, I would say it's probably definitely facilitated by social media. Again, don't use Snapchat, ladies. Don't be an idiot if you're going to do it. Like, you're going to get caught anyways. It's like, I'm like you care. Most women probably don't think they're going to get caught, or they don't see that's anything's necessarily wrong with it. And that's, I think, is where really the starting point is, that women don't see anything wrong with doing what they're doing. Most likely because they also buy into the idea that, well, I'm 24 and he's 15 and he's lucky that I'm sucking his dick. He's lucky that I'm spreading my legs for him because he's hot. And what was it? His body was, every inch of him was perfect, right? That was one of the quotes of one of these chicks. That does not sound to me like she's interested in his 401k or what he's going to be. He's going to be a med student when he gets into college, right? That doesn't sound to me like a woman who is interested in status, is interested in money, is interested in leveling up or trading in the guy that she got with, although maybe he is a step up, right? But that's not mate switching hypothesis. That is dual mating strategy. Can we fucking just get over a curb this fucking high? I can show you know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. Anybody who wants to throw mate switching hypothesis at me, I'm going to show you over 50, maybe more than that, over 50 of teachers doing exactly this. I'm going to show you example. I'm going to rub at your fucking noses in this every opportunity I get. Every time Steve Harvey, his wife, cheats on him with the bodyguard and the fucking the personal chef, I'm going to rub your noses in this. I'm going to say, why is this the case? Because it is ludicrous. It is cope. It is cope of the highest fucking order. And you know why it's cope? Because it's the same impetus as to why we don't want to call these women what they are, which is statutory grapists. I can't even say the word, right? We can't say that. The public won't say that. The journalists won't say that, but that is what they were. They would use that terminology with any guy doing exactly the same thing. So when people want to say, well, Rollo doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not an evolutionary psychologist. He's not one of these research professionals and everything. No, but I point out shit that's uncomfortable. I ask questions you don't have fucking answers for, or you're unwilling to answer. So when I point out Steve Harvey's wife cheating on him with the bus boy, the personal trainer, the bodyguard and the personal chef. She's not doing that because she's trying to level up from Steve fucking Harvey. She's doing it because she's horny as fuck and she wants to fuck that guy. That's what. Can it just be about fucking? Can it? Or does there have to be some deep religious hole in the soul, hole in the heart? Or does it have to be a leveling up and falling in love with their affair partners and everything? Because I will show you, we're going to do a show on hybristophilia very soon. What is hybristophilia? HYBRISTOPHILIA. Hybristophilia. All women are not hybristophiles, but only women are hybristophiles. It's only manifests in the female. That's the woman who wants to get with the guy who's the convicted felon, the guy who is the proven murderer, the guy who is the bad boy, dark triad traits, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That guy who is the criminal and is incarcerated for multiple murders and multiple rapes, that's the guy she wants to get with. That only occurs in females. And you say, well, she's damaged. You might even have a case to say that she's damaged or there's some sort of psychological disorder. But you know what? It's not happening to guys. Guys are not seeking that out. Women are seeking that out. Multiple instances of this. The problem with me finding instances of hybristophilia is that there's so many of them. I'm not sure I could do a full show without like people's eyes glazing over, which probably yours are right now for just me looking at teacher sex, student sex scandals, right? And there's going to be more. There's going to be more of this. Yes, ask Will Smith's wife. Yeah, exactly. Can't wait. Like, I feel like Jackie Chan. Like, it's like, why? There's the clip for you. It's a Jackie Chan clip for you. Like, why? Why is it so hard to accept this? Girls want to fuck. They want to fuck so bad they'll use Snapchat to set it up with a 15-year-old. What the fuck, man? And so when I see stuff like this, and I'm trying to listen to these other guys talk about like, oh, stats and this and that, and that, the women fall in love with their affair partners and they're trading up. No, the fuck they're not. You can show me survey after survey and all this other shit. Okay, fine. I just showed you 50 some odd instances of women who are between the ages of, 22 was the youngest, I think, and 38. No, that was 45. The one with the other girl was the oldest one was 45. So 22 and 45 years old, averaging mostly right around the 24 to 28 year mark, right? Hell, the one chick wanted to cheat on her husband with the hockey players, for fuck's sake, man. They're not cheating. It's not infidelity based on like status and, fucking money and hierarchy and all that shit. No. Yeah. Tom Brady. Yeah, exactly. Like, what is it? Didn't Giselle nail the jiu-jitsu instructor and stuff? Of course, that's kind of not fair because it's how do you make the case that she, like, if it was just, what's keeping her loyal? All the money and all of the dedication, the time and love and the support and investment and shared life experience and stuff like that. Nah, I think I'm going to fuck the jiu-jitsu. Really? Yeah. What's this? Hold on a second. This looks pretty good. They insist they are above it to lie to men and they want to give them attention. Meanwhile, they want a feral king. Yeah, exactly. Well, and again, I think there is a social, I don't say social dynamic, psychological, psychosocial dynamic, and it's called the women are wonderful phenomenon or the women are wonderful dynamic. And let me see if I can throw this out here. Women are wonderful. Oh, the women are wonderful effect. This is actually that I think I might have read this once before. This is from Wikipedia, but this is pretty commonly known. The women are wonderful effect is the phenomenon found in psychological and sociological research, which suggests that people associate more positive attributes with women when compared to men. This bias reflects an emotional bias towards women as a general case. The phrase was coined by Alice Eagley and Antonio Moldinik in 1994 after finding that both male and female participants tend to assign positive traits to women, with female participants showing far more pronounced bias. Positive traits were assigned to men by participants of both genders, but to a far less degree. The authors suppose that the positive general evaluation of women might derive from the association between women and nurturing characteristics. This bias has been cited as an example of benevolent sexism. So that's the women are wonderful effect. And I would argue, I keep looking, I'm still getting used to like the studio in here. I would argue that a lot of what we see with respect to like revealing unflattering truths about women is deeply rooted in this women are wonderful effect. Now there's that's just one socio-psychological bullet point. There's others where we can see I'll dig the studies up if you want me to, but where products created by women are more trusted than ones created by men. There is if there is a scientific data or if there's a research that in any way it talks about women or it talks about men, the ones that talk about women are always rated as they seem more reliable or they seem more like verifiable or legit than the ones when it comes to men. So I think what happens is when we start talking about hybristophilia, especially the red pill rammed headlong into this without really even knowing. But when you reveal any unflattering truth about women's nature, it is always going to be very hostilely repressed, which is why you see these guys going after incels, going after, doing multiple studies of incel culture. And, oh, are you an incel? Are you politically motivated to vote this year? Blah, 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 which of course is all, electioneering. But the fact that we're focusing on something like that and we're not focusing on something that is a clear epidemic, endemic. It's endemic of society, right? It is a culture. You want to know where grape culture is? It's in your schools, for fuck's sake. And it's not guys. It's your female teachers. That's the culture. And the culture is centered on this untouchability. It's centered on this idea that women are going to get away with this. And even if they get popped, they're not going away for nearly as long. If they get any time at all, like that one girl got like what, two years of probation and a $700 fine. Really? Do you think that if the guy had done exactly that same thing, that he would be in any way facing the time he would see would be anything close to that? And if that were the case, let's just say for sake of argument that there was a male teacher who did exactly the same thing, and he got a slap on the wrist with 2 years of probation and a $700 fine. Do you not think that guy would be the talk of the fucking Twitter town? Do you think that guy would get away from the court of public opinion that is online? Most people don't even know about this stuff. The only reason I do is because you guys keep, and by the way, this is a collective effort. This isn't just Rollo Tomasi doing this. I had so much help, and I want to give props where it's due. To do this episode was really almost a 2-year project. Well, the 2-year project, well, at least a year-long project, because I started picking up on this really around this time last year, and then as things sort of progressed, the thing that, as I said, the thing that motivated me is this focus and this concentration on researching incels, but like giving no attention to anything outside that is far more damaging and far more endemic than this fear of, guys who are rubbing it out to, porn and they're going to turn into Alex Manazian or something like that. Nonsense. Meanwhile, we have this rash of teacher student statutory rape. So what do we make of this? Where do we go with this? Like I can make a big stink about it. I can do a show about it. I could write a book about it if you want. People will tell me I'm full of shit because you don't know what you're talking about, Rollo. But I do know one thing, that there's definitely a high frequency for it. So yeah, exactly. What do we got here? Let me go see what we're doing. What did you say? I have photos of school teacher Catherine Popovice taking sexually inappropriate photos in her classroom around 7 and 9-year-olds. She forgot she was in the cloud. Nothing happened to her. Really? Don't send those to me, but I believe you. Yes, I'm no longer accepting anything like that. Thank you very much. Giovanni Sanders says, happy birthday, or happy birthday. Happy Father's Day, man. You're one of the best. Thank you. One of my sons. Gia McCool, who I'm trying to get on this show. She's like, happy Father's Day. May this day and every day be filled with appreciation for all of the sacrifice you have made for your family. All right. What did you give me here, young man? Cost of living impacts salaries to teacher salaries. I see that. What else did you give me? Average teacher salaries are lower than average salaries of bachelor's and master's degree holders in 48 states and Washington, D.C. If you ever want to know why there's no male teachers, look no further than what we're paying. And what's the solution? Teachers quickly fall behind their peers in other professions. Median total years personal income of full workers holding a bachelor's degree. Oh boy. Oh man. You know what? I'm going to use that one. Hang on, let me grab that one. That was too good not to throw up there. This is excuse me. I'm gonna channel my inner Aaron Clary here for 1 second. What is it? No, that's not it. Oh, this is it. Oh, I can't use it because it's an HEIC. That's all right. No worries. All right. Well, it's also Father's Day today, and I do have a few things I wanted to get into about Father's Day. That is the female teacher portion of today's show. Before we close, I do have a few things I wanted to get to. I've been meaning to show this video for a while. I was going to put this on Access Vegas, but I thought it was a little too dry for the girls. So I'm going to throw this up. This is Scott Galloway real quick. And I think Scott is probably I understand why people like Scott, but this will give you a better understanding why he's kind of
who claim to be advocates for masculinity. It's oftentimes just thinly veiled misogyny. There are a few demographic groups in the last 100 years that have fallen further faster than young men. And no one's talking about it, and into that void step these voices that start off really great. Be strong, be action-oriented, and then it just comes off the rails. They start.
Okay, so who do you think he's referring to? Andrew Tate. Yes. Okay. We got. I love how some of these guys, as if there's more than one. Like, can you name like Scott? Name any of them, please. Myron, maybe Myron. Right. Name any of these guys. He's basically referring. Like, just say Andrew Tate, bro.
Start talking about women as property. So I think people immediately have this very understandable gag reflex when you talk about masculinity.
Okay. So now we know exactly who he's talking about. Talking about women as property. Who said that? Andrew Tate.
The first thing you got to do, I believe, to demonstrate masculinity is take care of yourself. And then it's a concentric.
Okay. This is a part like when I hear guys like this, it sounds like it sounds good, right? It's not, let's see. He wouldn't make the, what is it? The masculine supremacy index for PEARL or whatever that, PERL, I think is the outfit that's decided what is masculine supremacy and what's not. That's how I got my rating, by the way. I have an 89 rating on the masculine supremacy score, courtesy of Pearl. That's what they, that's PERL. That's an organization. It's not Pearl. But this sounds good up to this point.
Circle out, taking care of your family, right? And then the real expression of masculinity.
You ever notice that like to be a man is to take care of your family? It's always on there, right? It's always whatever satisfies that nuclear family thing, right? Why can't it not be something else? Why can't it be just like a commitment to yourself? Why can't it not be just like looking out for yourself, like making the best choice? Maybe that is also starting a family. I don't have a problem with that. But it always starts with that. Like that's the only way you could ever, that's the only option, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we don't tell women the same thing. We don't say, well, the real expression of masculinity or the real expression of femininity is to have a family and to do no. The real expression of femininity is to get your bag on point. Don't trust no fucking man. Get your education on point. Make your money. Get the bag or marry the bag. However it works, right? Do what's right. Rich Cooper says this all the time. Do what's right for you, as opposed to for men is do the right thing. So what I find interesting is like we for a guy, it's always be better for the woman. But for women, it's always just be better for yourself. And what's funny is like right up until like the sexual revolution, it used to be the other way around.
Masculinity is when you can start taking care of people you'll never meet. Because if you reverse engineer to the single point of failure of young men, it's when they lose a male role model. We have the greatest number of single parent households with the exception of Sweden. With
the exception of Sweden. Yeah. That ought to tell you something right there. Well, yeah, we do. And again, 42% of births in the United States are out of wedlock. Is that men's fault or is that women's fault? We also live in a time where we have hormonal, and by the way, all of this in a time where we have access to hormonal birth control. And whatever your opinion is, we know what the function of it is, right? Is you don't have babies if you're on it. Okay. And we also have access to easy, convenient, fast, safe abortion. So there's your fail safe for you. We have so many fail safes for women's bad reproductive choices, and yet we still live in an era where 42% of children are born out of wedlock. You would think that women would be masters of vetting men, right? What's the joke now? It's like if women were so smart, if women are like make better decisions, like then you guys are sure getting. A lot of you women are getting pregnant a lot for being as smart as you think you are. Or being like you, if you, what is it? We know men's nature. You knew men so well that you're getting pregnant 42% of the time out of wedlock. No. And what gets lost in all of this, and I hate this shit because the minute, and this goes back to my point before with the women are wonderful thing, the minute I make I say anything critical in the most marginal sense, I say anything critical about about female nature. And sometimes I might say it's good. Sometimes I might say it's bad, right? But I make one comment as a guy, I will guarantee you within the first 10 comments of whatever I tweeted or whatever I stated, there will be someone who says, yeah, But men do this too. There will always be there, as if there has to be some sort of counterbalance. If you're going to state some unflattering truth about women's nature, the instant reflexive knee-jerk reaction is always, well, men do it too, and they're worse. There's always as if there has to be some sort of counterbalance to it. And nine times out of 10, it's not women who are starting this. It's men who will come at me because they want every girl in ear. These are the white knights, right? They want any woman in earshot or who might read this tweet or post or whatever to know that they're not like most guys. They're unique. They're the cuttlefish, right? They're the female. They're the sneaky fucker game guys. They're the guys who want to blend in, who want to identify with the feminine because they think that if they do so, they'll be appreciated for it. Let me explain something to you right now. Blue pill, white knight, simpy bullshit, dude. You won't. You won't. In fact, if anything, you'll be despised for that because women see it's like the nice guy game, right? Women hate nice guys. You know why they hate nice guys? Well, they hate them because they're nice, but they also hate them because they think the nice guy is trying to be nice so that eventually he can get in the pants. Women I think have an instinctual understanding of sneaky fucker game or the cuttlefish modality where the cuttlefish changes sex to like fit in with the females. And when all the other male cuttlefish leave, then look, we're going to turn back on. Suddenly we're males. Right? It's feminism. It's male feminism game is what it is.
There are a ton of boys who will go through pretty much their entire adolescence with almost no involvement of men. How do we?
Yeah, and whose fucking fault is that? Is it because guys aren't getting in there, or is it because that guys don't want to get retroactively cucked? Is it because there just simply aren't those guys around? Is it because they don't want to be used for the bad decisions that their bad reproductive choices that their mothers made for them? I'm not saying they deserve it. I'm not saying they shouldn't do that. I'm not saying they shouldn't have a strong masculine. Hell, like I said, I have one daughter and I have 1,000 sons, right? I'm happy with that. I'm glad that that's the case, right? It's not about there being a masculine role model in these kids' life. It's the fact that it has to be approved. It has to be some sort of untoxic masculinity. It has to be, like I said when I was posting that we need good ads instead of dads. We need good ads, right? It's all to sell like Noxzema men's skincare cream or some shit like that. But the reason why that's even a message right now is because of guys like this. It's because it's okay. Well, we need okay. Well, what kind of masculine influence do we need? The guy who's going to sit there and tell him to talk about his feeling. Well, you got females to do that. Is it a good coach? Is it a guy who's going to kick him in the ass? Is it a guy who's going to like teach him how to like socialize? Because I'll tell you right now, we have systematically removed men from the conversation. We have removed, I was saying before, I'm going to repeat it, so go drink if you want to. But like when I was on Dr. Phil, what did I say? I said, men have become superfluous. Nice to have around, but not actually necessary. That's your frustration, Scott. That's my frustration too. He just doesn't know it. He doesn't understand this shit. And I'll tell you why, because he finishes off with
define masculinity and gender as a positive, recognizing that a large portion of the population is non-binary. It starts with empathy. Empathy is not a zero-sum game.
Okay, you catch that? No, Scott, gender is a binary, period. End of story. Gender is downstream from biology, and guess what? Biological sex is binary. I know it's mind blow. Rollo just explains it all to me so well. No, it's fucking easy. It's easy. It's a curb this high. How come you can't get over it? Like that's where you're going to go with this?
Civil rights didn't hurt white people. It helped white people. Gay marriage didn't hurt heterosexual marriage. It helped it. And talking about the struggles of men,
it helped it. Do you think homosexual marriage? Okay, first off, you're wrong because it's not homosexual marriage. It's same-sex marriage. As I said before, have you heard me say this one before? This is a story, Kyle. Did you know that me and Aaron Clary could get married legally as heterosexual men?
Wait, what?
Yeah, we could, because the state doesn't care whether you're sucking each other's dicks or what. They don't care what you do in your bedroom. They just want they want to know what the contract is. And they just said people who are of the same sex can get married. Well, you could be, I could be heterosexual, and Aaron Clary, he could get heterosexual. I could propose marriage. Aaron, I'm proposing we get married. Okay. But the stipulations, the vows, our wedding vows are going to be this. You get to go fuck as many hot bitches as you want, and I get to go fuck as many hot bitches as I want, because I don't have any interest in fucking you. Okay, fine. Good for you. Good for you. Put the ring on. You're married, right? Okay. But the stipulations and the rules of our marriage is that I'm heterosexual and I go bang hot girls, and he's heterosexual and he goes bang hot girls. Now, I don't know what the breaking point would be. I don't know what the deal breaker in something like that would be, but let's just say for sake of argument, there is a deal breaker and we have to get divorced. Well, now we're two heterosexual men in a same sex marriage. This is why same-sex marriage has damaged regular, normal, gender binary marriages, because it's no longer about husband and wife. It's no longer defined by the sexes itself. It's defined by just the contract now. So when people say, Rollo, you're so against marriage, I can't believe it. I'm coming up on 28 years of marriage, by the way. Thank you very much. It'll be July 20th, and you will definitely hear about it. Rollo, how can you be so against marriage? I'm not against marriage. I'm against the way we do it now. And this is exactly the way we do it now.
And appreciating gender and leaning into gender, should you decide to, is not in any way diminish the rights or the responsibilities to providing everybody with equal rights.
Okay. Where that came from, I don't know. But this is a guy who wants to talk about the reason why I throw this out there. I really kind of wanted to get Mike Sartain to opine on this one as well, because this goes back to how male role models, conventional masculinity is basically superfluous. This was the case I was trying to make with Dr. Phil, who apparently was too dense to get it right. Because what's funny is that he goes really binary too. He's like, you mean every guy you've ever talked to, or every woman you ever talked to said that men are superfluous? I can't believe. Like, no, dumbass. What I'm saying is that that's the zeitgeist. That's the attitude that people have, that men are useless. Women don't need men. They want men, but they don't need men. I can't explain that to them in a 45 minute commercial TV show. Who does the judge screw over in Lesbian Divorce? I don't know. Screw over. I get it. I got two more starred in here. What did I get? Oh, here we go. Which of the following is the most worrying? The sisterhood uber alles, gynocentric social or women are wonderful psychology or feminism? Okay. Very good question, actually. They're all kind of separate, though. I think the basis, though, I think on a psychological level, I think is the women are wonderful psychology. I think if I had to, in order of importance, or if I had a flow chart, I would start with women are wonderful. Feminism is just the militant, it's the religious spokes arm. It's the voice of gynocentrism. Now it is. It didn't used to be. But today, gynocentrism is a direct result of the women are wonderful thing, or the women are wonderful psychology. Sisterhood uber alles is really based on women's innate solipsism. So if you want me to go through each one of these for your £5 super chat here, Sisterhood uber alles in short is uber alles is the sisterhood. It's German, right? Uber alles. It was a play on Germany, right? That means the sisterhood, women above all, meaning that the solipsism, the innate solipsism that women have as part of their psyche, translates into communitarianism. It translates into egalitarianism, but it only is something that serves female. So meaning that my gender, my sex, do or die, right or wrong, makes no difference. So that's the sisterhood uber. Women are infallible. They're sinless. That's sisterhood uber alles. Gynocentric social order is how women organize society. They organize it gynocentrically. The opposite of that would be androcentrically. What does that mean? It means a social organization by women for women, not matriarchy. Remember, matriarchy is different. So patriarchy and androcentrism are both different. So they're both like, when we talk about gynocentric and we talk about androcentric, what that means is, in the case of gynocentrism, is that it is, well, first of all, society organized by and for women, but it is also the idea, and you've heard me say this before, and this is what I would start with most trad cons with, is that today men have 0% authority and 0% authority and 100% responsibility. For women, it's the opposite. They have zero accountability, 0% responsibility, and 100% authority. Meaning that if you don't believe me, just look at Me Too, Time's Up. I mean, I can show you multiple. Hell, even the whole teacher rapist thing, right? The unwarranted, unmerited ideas of respect, things like that. Okay, gynocentrism is tyranny, meaning that it is 100% authority and 0% responsibility for men, right? So we've got, the opposite would be androcentrism. Androcentrism would, again, be 100% authority for men and 0% responsibility for men. That's what, like, if you look at, what is it, A Handmaid's Tale, and I forget the fictional world that they live in, that's androcentrism. It's this death cult fantasy that women have. Women really believe that that's the way that it used to be back in the day. Like, this is what would happen to us if we let men have 100% authority. That's their fear. And that's why it's such a fucking popular show. What is the name of that? It was on the tip of my tongue. I actually wrote an entire essay about that on Substack, which you should subscribe to. Gilead, I think is what it was called. That's the fictional world or country or whatever, where all the women have to wear the red frocks with the white, like flying nun, headgear, right? And they are forced to have babies that they don't want to have because they have to repopulate the Gilead or some shit like that. So it is 100% authority for men and 0% responsibility for women, meaning like they're completely helpless, right? That's androcentrism. The opposite is the same for gynocentrism. So that's part of that. Now, what was the next thing? Women are wonderful. I think is the most underlying psychology. The reason why I've done full essays about this as well, where I talk about how, like, it goes back to the big head babies essay, meaning that women are the vulnerable sex and they need provisioning, protection, and parental investment, which is an innate part of male nature. We want to put ourselves in front of live ammunition for women that we don't know in a hostile environment, right? Women and children first. Men would rather die on the Titanic than jump in, than be considered a coward and get in the lifeboats, which, by the way, there was plenty of, in some of the cases, there's plenty of room for them. It's not that they didn't have enough lifeboats. This is guys would rather go down with the fucking ship, right? It's the innate protector dynamic, and that is all part and parcel of the women are wonderful aspect. Sperm is cheap, eggs are expensive. That's where we get this from. That's our innate, lizard brain, monkey brain understanding of it. That's where you get that. That is at the basis, I think, of all of this. That's underlying the sisterhood. That's underlying gynocentrism, and it's certainly underlying feminism. So that would be my answer to your question, young man. Let's see. I had somebody threw this one at me about Happy Father's Day to the bonus dads, which I think is funny because this happens like every single Father's Day. This is almost one of the reasons I didn't really want to do a standalone Father's Day show. I've done these before. But let's see, what was this? It's from Newser. Here we go. Happy Father's Day to the bonus dads. Actually, let me just throw this one up here. Can I put this one out? All right. You notice that again, men are superfluous, right? Anyone will do. Same thing with Scott Galloway. Anyone will do. Doesn't matter. Just get in there and do it, guys. Scott Galloway is talking about these guys, these poor young boys, they go through their lives and they don't have a positive male role model. That's why they're attracted to Andrew Tate. Well, what is it about Tate that makes him so positive? What is it? What makes him so seductive? Oh, and then he says women are property. Well, he did once, sure. And again, I'm not here. I'm in no way going to defend Tate. But the thing is if that's the only example you have, I would like to know what you think constitutes positive masculinity. Because conventional masculinity, just being masculine, is not enough, as we've seen before. And as I was playing that video for you guys, an overlooked contingent on Father's Day, the men helping to raise the children of single mothers. No, they're not. They're helping to raise the children of guys whose single mothers couldn't lock down or couldn't consolidate on. I said this last week when we were getting into the cuck show, right? What's a cuckold? What's not a cuckold? Notice the wording here. The men helping to raise the children of single mothers. No, they're helping to raise the children and the DNA of men that these women chose to reproduce with and go against their own biological imperatives. You want to make them heroes? That should be your starting point right there. In the Washington Post, again, Kiona Hall offers a tribute to those bonus dads, men with benefits to bail me out of this shit, recounting how she came to realize that despite the challenges of raising two sons, who are just 11 months apart, and one whom has epilepsy, without a spouse, without the baby daddy, can we just say why don't you just say the sperm donor? That's what women like to say anyways, right? Her boys actually have many father figures who have stepped up to fill what she feared would be a void. There's the uncle who DJs freeze dance parties whenever his work as a truck driver brings him through town. The uncle they're all uncles, right? Who takes them for haircuts. The barber uncle who gives them those haircuts, the uncle who video calls once a week, and so many more, including their grandpa. Okay. This village supports me too. Hall writes, I am able to show my sons that asking for help is not weakness, but a strength. They see that the family is defined by love and commitment. No, it's an egalitarian fantasy you have. The men in their lives teach them about kindness, integrity, and perseverance. Who's teaching them how to fucking kick ass and take names? Who's teaching them to go get in a fucking gym? Who's teaching them to go? And yet we have Scott Galloway talking about how taking care of yourself, getting in the gym, all the positivity of this stuff. I love how TradCons just like warm up and cuddle up with the Tate message, and then do a 180 when it comes to shit like this. Read Hall's full piece in the Post, blah, blah, blah. Or for a tribute to stepdads, Sarah Schrader has one here, rejoicing in the two men, one their biological father, plus the one who loves them just as if he was their father, noting that the personality difference between the two, the personality differences between the two allows for my girls to literally have the best of both worlds. Yeah, one's alpha fucks, and the other's beta bucks. As I keep saying, those two guys do not exist in the same individual. That's why women need different personalities. The different personalities, one is alpha and one is beta. How nice. The reason I want to bring that up once again, there are proactive cuckoldry, and there's retroactive cuckoldry, proactive and retroactive. If you adopted your kid, if your now wife was a single mother and she had two kids and you stepped into the picture, guess what? You signed up for your own cuckoldry. Am I saying you're a simp? Am I saying you're a bad person? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I will say this: functionally, you are every bit a cuck. As a guy who's letting his wife go fuck other guys on OnlyFans, and you're sitting in the fucking cuck chair, you're every bit as much as that. It might not have had, her bull might not have impregnated her, and you're taking care of the kid right now. But guess what? You're just as much a cuck. I mean, functionally speaking, I didn't say you're a bad person. I didn't say you're whatever, but functionally, you're the cuck. So instead of saying, "Oh, you're a bonus dad," no, you're a retroactive cuckold, is what you. Now that might be a noble, job for you, a noble, task for you. But you understand that's what they're trying to do. This is why I say men in general are superfluous. Anyone will do. The uncle who stops by with a DJ freeze dance game. The uncle who takes the kids to what, the barbershop. Then the uncle at the barbershop who cuts their hair. Then the uncle that does this. And the uncle that does this. And they're not all uncles, but that's what they want to say that they are. It's because that sounds more like positivity, right? Well, uncles wouldn't be negative. They wouldn't be toxically masculine, right? No, they're not uncles. They're guys who have a shared sense of gender loathing, more or less, right? They want to, like, I remember this, and again, this is no cut against Wes Watson, but I know Wes Watson has 2 kids that are not his. He married a single mother. Same thing with Andrew Wilson, married a single mother. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad or it's good, until you start throwing shit at people who say, you know what, there's an innate. If I point out and I make the obvious observation here that men tend to be hesitant to want to get involved with a single mother. It's an innate thing. It's a biological thing. Men have to get over it. Like, remember what I said? Like, anything can become normal. Like, you got to get over a revulsion response. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily a revulsion response, but there's certainly a hesitation for men to want to get involved and want to be responsible for the parental investment responsibilities of another man's child. In fact, that's why we think of it as a noble pursuit. Because if we can think of it as a noble pursuit, then we can convince guys that it is a good thing for them to essentially be a fail-safe for women's bad reproductive choices. So we've got birth control, we've got on-demand abortion, and we make guys who aren't the stepdads, but the dads who stepped up, we turn those guys into, noble heroes that need to be knighted and apply for sainthood. Those are fail-safes for what? For women's bad reproductive choices. I don't understand why this is like a hard thing. Again, this is not moralizing. This is not sermonizing. I'm just pointing out these facts. Now, people will take this and go, well, Rollo thinks that these men shouldn't have father figures, which is exactly why I brought up Wes Watson, because I've got a clip of him somewhere around here where he's talking about how those sons of bitches in the red pill think that kids shouldn't have fathers. Oh man, I would kick anybody's ass if they said that to me. Blah blah blah. What the? Nobody's going to say that to Wes Watson, right? But the fact of the matter is Wes is simply a retroactive cuckold. Seriously, I mean, functionally speaking, he's a retroactive cuckold. Now we can rationalize that away. And we can say, well, it's a noble task, or it's a noble, assignment to be that. I mean, you might be even right about that. But the fact of the matter is you're still functionally doing what you criticize other guys, like criticize Destiny for. Destiny's a cuckold, but you're not, because you are taking over the responsibilities of another man's job. Square that circle for me, because I'm having a real difficult time with that one. Why is it so fucking hard to just say, here's one for the father? Here's one for all of the biological fathers who are there every day, who are there doing it. Why is that? Why can we not just have a fucking conversation where we're just, or any kind of appreciation, or any kind, like, usually when it's Father's Day, it's fuck you, Dad, you screwed me up. It's anybody with like daddy issues or an absentee father or something like that. That's the first thing out of the mouth. I don't know. If you went to church today, you probably heard some iteration of the pastor saying, men, you need to do better, because that's the opportunity, right? Father's Day is not about appreciating fathers or recognizing dads or in any way giving them a pat on the back or anything else. It's all about this, right? Where do we put that? This was too good not to throw out one more time. Yeah. I don't know if that's it. Is that it? I Could be wrong. If this is it, if this is not it, I'm going to take
Swear
it.
to God, I would have boyfriends and never post.
Oh, not that one. Hold on. I'm going to end you with this here. Is this it? Maybe this is it.
Most men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers, and some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions. We don't know what it sounds like to hear, "I see you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're here. You really make a difference." Yet the expectation is to constantly be displaying the strength and love that the world is hesitant in conveying. We're expected to have a thick skin but get judged if it turns to a hard shell. The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Cause yes, boy, you're gonna be starving. Starved of attention, starved of affirmation, starved of love, starved of being told that you are enough. Step 2 in being a man is comfortability with replaceability. You are only as good as you are useful.
Comfortability with replaceability. There it
You're
is.
only as valuable as you are needed by others. Should there ever come a day, boy, where you fail to provide everybody with a smiling face, then do not be surprised when they say all men do is take up space, and you are swiftly replaced. Step 3 in being a man is overcoming your fear of the fire, because almost everything you will ever try to build will go up in flames. Relationships, careers, hobbies, and yes, you are always to blame. Step 4 in being a
Okay, that speaks to being zeroed out right there.
man is understanding by the time you finally get all the right answers, these questions will have already changed. You might achieve the strength of Herculean fiction, trying to balance the weight of all these contradictions. Be a man, they say, definition unknown. We men, so empty, so irritable, so this, so that. We get told where we are so much we've accepted that who we are ain't even up to us.
There you go. If that is not, and I know it was like, was it slam poetry? But if that doesn't show you like the superfluousness of it. So ladies, today, if you're going to appreciate your guy, pastors at your church right now, you probably already did this. I mean, it's a game over. It's, the Sunday is already over, but next year, try to do a fucking sermon that addresses shit like that. Try to do a fucking sermon that is not just, oh, we're going to talk about the stepdads and the guys who you guys have to, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be a great dad. Anybody can just step up. And no, how about this? How about you go to the guys who intentionally had kids, are still with their wives. They're still, it's always about measuring up. It's always about the burden of performance on Father's Day Sunday. It's always about do better, do better, do better. How about this? How about the guys who are fucking doing the best they fucking can? There's never any recognition for that. How about this? How about you address the fact that fathers have become superfluous, that men have become superfluous, that women don't need men and they just want men. Who do they want? They want Justin Waller. They want Jason Momoa. But you know what else they want? They want their 15-year-old students is what they want. They want other things besides that. They don't know what the fuck they want. They don't know what kind of guy. They want the Tinder swindler. They want the Andrew Tate. They want the hardened criminal that they want to bust out of jail. They want to have conjugal visits with that guy. That's also what they want. How about we fucking recognize that? How about you take that to the fucking pulpit? How about you talk about shit like that? No, you're not going to, because women are wonderful, right? Are beta male cucks good for human evolution? Yeah, they are actually. It gives children a dad whose father was lost in war, and also gives the cuck a sexual opportunity. Well, that's what I've been saying for a long time, bro. Is it? Oh, am we on here? Okay. I know, I saw you up there. No, do we need cucks? Yeah, we do. Because you know what? Because if that's no, I shouldn't say women need cucks. It's a sexual strategy. You want to talk about mating strategies? Cuckoldry is now it certainly has been in the past. It's in the animal kingdom. It's been a thing. You know what? Hang on one second here, real quick. I have with me Promiscuity by Tim Burkhead. In fact, I meant to read this a while back. But I'm going to read this one little part here. This is on page 12 here. I thought was interesting. This whole book is about what promiscuity is not about, like, 304s and body count. I hate to disappoint you, but it's about promiscuity, cuckoldry in the animal kingdom. You want to know where's Rollo getting all this retroactive, proactive about? Evolutionary biologist Dr. Tim Burkhead. That's where it's coming from. Okay. This was I actually highlighted this part. I think I'll read it here. Interestingly, for reasons that will become clear, Parker initially less concerned with the battle between the sexes, yada, yada. Let's see. Oh, okay. On the other hand, sexual selection favors those males who successfully fertilize females who have previously been inseminated by other males. Now, this doesn't necessarily applies to humans, but this is like for in the animal kingdom, okay? On the other hand, it simultaneously favors those males who prevent females, mate guarding, they have inseminated from being fertilized by any other male. This is where we get marriage vows, by the way. The benefit of securing fertilization with additional females are considerable, more offspring bearing more copies of that male's genes. But the costs of being cuckolded are also considerable. The reproductive success of a cuckold male is depressed, and it can be reduced even further, like ex-UK Prime Minister Harold Macmillan cuckolded by Lord Boothby. Well, this is a history lesson here. A male spends time and energy rearing offspring that are not his own, frittering away the resources that could have been used to promote his own genes or secure reproductive success elsewhere. In the light of this, it is ironic that Macmillan was famous for the phrase, "You've never had it so good." The outcome of the conflicting selection pressures created by sperm competition is the evolution of traits that promote male reproductive success. It is an evolutionary arms race. As soon as males evolve some character, such as large ejaculates or increases their large ejaculate, which increases their success, there's another counter selection on males to better protect their paternity. So, like I said, it's an arms race through the example of behaviors that reduce the perceived likelihood of female infidelity. As soon as such behaviors has become effective, there's a counter selection on males to find another way to circumvent this. Okay. Today we circumvent it with social conventions. So is it a good thing? It gives children with the dad who the father lost in war. Okay, well that's a nice sentiment. The fact of the matter is 42% of women have children out of wedlock today, and that's been the way for quite some time. And the other part of this is that post-sexual revolution, right after sexual revolution, women have never had the amount of sexual selectivity that they've had. Women can opt to be single mothers. Men can do it too, but they've got to hire a surrogate, and they have to have the money to do it. And very, very few men can do this, right? In fact, practically none. It would be easier for two gay men to adopt a child than it would be for a guy to get a surrogate to be a single dad by choice. Just saying. So is it a good thing? Yeah, well, it's a good thing that we're supporting. We're a collective species, right? We're a social species. Okay, good. The problem is that you go extinct and his genes go on. That is that's basically annihilation is what that is. You want to know what nihilism is? It's not just all is lost and nothing has any purpose. It's you're gone. You're annihilated. You're extinct. Your DNA goes extinct. And so the idea is and I said this on the last show, is that it is cuckoldry today for men is seen as an option because it's better to get laid and hope that you're going to impregnate that chick with the outside chance that you might be able to impregnate that chick by the cost being taking care of her previous kids, with the hope that you're going to be able to inseminate her and have children of your own, than it is to live a sexless life and certainly go extinct. So when guys opt to believe and buy into the idea of the noble stepfather, that's essentially the trade-off that they're making at that point, whether they realize it or they don't. It's that. And then what was this one? We know that learners respond better to male teachers for they are more demanding. So is the removal of the male teacher on purpose. well, what's on purpose, right? Who's behind all of this? It must be the evil juice. Yes. No. Is it on purpose? You could argue that there's some sort of intent, but I think it's probably easier to simply say that just the way that things have gone. Once again, I'm going to come back to hormonal birth control. Okay. Women have never enjoyed more sexual selectivity and have never had more fail safes against bad reproductive choices than they do in the 20th, latter half of the 20th and all of the 21st century. That has, as I said, it's inspired, or was just reading here, has inspired contingencies. So if everybody's going to let their freak flag fly, and it doesn't matter who we're sleeping with, or whether it's a teenage student or it's, your cougar girlfriend, right? Or your single mommy girlfriend. It all comes down to sexual strategy. What is going to make you the most, what is going to give you the most likelihood of solving your reproductive problem? So when we look at intentionality in all of this, well, is the reason why there's not any male teacher? I think it's probably because guys just simply didn't see it as a viable option anymore. There used to be schoolmasters, right? There used to be, it wasn't just, you didn't have just a gym teacher, right? I was thinking back like on male teachers that I had during high school, and I had quite a few, actually. I had a male history teacher. I had male science teachers for sure. I had all male math teachers. It was usually like STEM fields, and then coaches, of course. I played water polo when I was in high school. That was the best shape of my life, man. I was playing water polo. But yeah, the idea now, there's that was back in the mid 80s, right? So that's there's far fewer now today. Is it intentional? I don't think it's necessarily some sort of master fiendish plan. I just think it's just the way things went. There's just simply just not enough money. The status is too much. The status is nothing, I should say. There's no prestige to being a teacher other than, well, it's a noble profession. Yeah, it's only so noble as you can find a woman who can appreciate that and wants to suck your dick because you're in a noble profession, which is next to nothing right now. And then it doesn't pay it doesn't pay as much as like say something else. I mean, if you're going to teach math, why would you not be a coder? Why would you not if you have a mind, like guys, if you have a mind for math and a mind for science, why would you get into teaching when you could make a lot more money and have a lot less risk of losing all your investment in a teaching career that's going to pay you less money? Why would you do that if you can go make more money as a coder, or you can make more money as a chemist or whatever it is? Why would you not turn into Walter White, right? There's a lot of money in chemistry. If you just have to be creative. Today we cook. But yeah, so there you go. Let's see real quick. So I think I might do another. Yeah, I like this. Thank you very much. Men do not owe women a better life. Let me tell you, I texted that out. I put that on as a tweet. I just put men do not owe women a better. I said, gentlemen, remember, men do not owe women a better life. I had everyone on Daily Wire's like subscription list just read me the riot act for that. Oh man, you're not a real man if you don't know what your masculine duties and virtue are. Blah blah blah. I'm just like, dude, you don't owe them a fucking. And then the next tweet, or then the tweet right before they start giving you shit, they're talking about how you need to vet. Yeah, you do, and part of that is understanding that you don't owe women a better life. You don't jump at the first fucking thing, right? If women want kids going forward, they should stop waiting for legally binding marital commitment and have kids with any guy they get along with best, which probably not going to happen. And again, where does this end, right? What's the end game in all of this? I am more optimistic than I am pessimistic about it. I really am. I'm not of the mind of enjoy the decline, because at the end of it, there is a decline, and the bottom of the fucking decline is going to be really ugly. I don't think that I'm a cautious optimist when it comes to this kind of stuff. People say, well, we got to wait for the meteor. Well, yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to do the best I can fucking do. And I think really that starts with each one tell one. And, you know, I'm trying, people say, well, what about your legacy? Legacies don't matter, Rolo, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, they do. And most people's legacy is just having a kid. I love how they try to sell you on children, like, or fatherhood. Oh, that's your legacy. Dude, you know how many immigrants have a more legacy than me or you or anybody else? If that's your legacy, you're fucked, right? Because they got 8 kids and you got 1 kid. I guess my legacy dick is bigger than your legacy dick. No, my legacy is the rational male. My legacy is the books that I've written. I'm hoping that my great grandchildren will read the rational male, even if it's like completely like what was great grandpa Rolo thinking. Even if that's the case, I will consider it a success, right? It's not the kids you leave behind, it's what you put into those kids. It's not the I was talking with who was it? Oh, it was Miguel Danza from the Danza Project, and Mike and I were on there. And if you haven't seen that, it just came out. Like they just did the re-edits for it, and it just premiered yesterday. The Danza or a day before that. Go to the Danza DANZA project on YouTube, and you'll see the interview. But it's about a 3-hour interview between me and Mike Sartain and Cato and Miguel on that show. It's really, really good. But at one point during that conversation, he asked me about like fatherhood and what's important in being a good parent, right? And this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. My number one suggestion, if you're going to ask me for my opinion, I'll give you my opinion on this. Okay, here's a prescription. This is a prescription from Rolo Tomasi, right? Red pill, Rolo, got it. Okay. The number one thing I think is the most important thing about being a parent is being present, being there. That's it. Being fucking there. Even if you're just sitting there smiling, going, hey, I don't really care about this piano recital. You know, I was there for my daughter's pageants when I was there, and I'm glad I was. Did I find it enjoyable? Not the first time. Once I realized, like, here's a fun, you want to know, I don't think I've ever said this before. One of the things that people go, oh, Rolo let his daughter do pageants. He must be a beta male. No, let me tell you something. The chicks that are at those pageants, at least back in the day, now pageants are different. Sorry, I know they're all trans and fat, but trans fats. But the thing is like the concept, in its most idealistic form of pageant, it's not just dumb broads who can't name 3 countries, right? Or what would you do to cause world peace? Like that's all you see is some dumb ditzy blonde trying to, who can't like can't string a sentence together, right? That's not what pageants are about. Pageants are about having a platform. They're about a platform, meaning like you have to have some sort of charity. You have to have some sort of mission statement. I think you have to go through like interviews. Like you actually have to be a good interview. Is what you have to be. You have to be. It teaches social skills. It teaches etiquette. It teaches all of the things that men say, oh, femininity is so lacking in these women today. I can't believe it. That's what pageants are. At least initially they were about. You've got to go through not just swimwear, which everybody focuses on. There's also casual wear. There's also other elements to this whole thing. People only see one aspect. They see the cocktail dresses or like the formal dresses, and they see the swimsuits, and then they see some dumb bitch who can't like tell you where Iran is on the globe or something like that, right? That's all they see. But the whole thing about pageants, at least from my experience, is that it not only teaches all of those elusive classic conventional femininity traits that everybody think is completely absent in women today. If you want your feminine female, are they empowered? Are they full of themselves? Yes, and in some cases, rightly so. But if you want to see what classical conventional femininity is, or you want to see it being taught or being encouraged, you have to look at the right pageant system, of course. But idealistically, on a mission based, ideal, that's what it's about, right? So when people gave me shit about like my daughter being in pageants, I can understand. They think, oh, you're just like Jean-Benet Ramsey or some shit. Like you have like these little pageant queen. My daughter wasn't that young when she got into it, but it's actually been a very from the women that I know who've been pageant girls, it's been a very positive thing for them. So, so I got nothing bad to say about that, at least in that respect. Now I understand how it can get corrupted, and I understand like why people have a problem with some of it. But the fact is like I was present. Did I want to be there? I didn't want to be there the first time. I was like, what the fuck is this all about? I was skeptical as anybody else was, but I was there. And when my daughter wanted to go and do she wanted to do acting and stage acting and stuff like that, she wanted to sing and stuff, I was there. And she wanted to go and she was 6 years old. She wants to play with dinosaurs. Okay, let's play dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. How many do you want? We'll go get some, right? I'll get you the best fucking dinosaurs you ever had. I was there. You're just present. And I think a lot of people think that parenting is like this series of events where you're stringing together these little nuggets of wisdom. Trust me on this. Kids don't give a flying fuck about your wisdom, okay? If I try to impart some sort of like fatherly wisdom or some sort of like elderly wisdom to my daughter or to my niece or my nephew, if they retain like 2% of that, that's a glowing success as far as I'm concerned, because they don't see or they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. And if you're not present, they can't watch what you do. You want to be a good dad? Be present. Figure out what's good. Now, when I was on the Danza project, so they asked me this on the Danza project, and there's, and I agree with it. If you go and you follow, like, say, something like the 4 laws of behavioral genetics, right? Well, a lot of that says that a lot of your personality and a lot of who your children are going to become is really genetically determined, and they're correct about that. But that those genetic markers and that their innate natural talents don't manifest unless they're in the proper environment for them to manifest. So I gave an example of like this. It's like if you had like say Eddie Van Halen, right? Eddie Van Halen comes from a family of other musicians, right? His brother played drums. He's a guitar player. I believe his father was a saxophonist, I think, and I think his mom was like a concert pianist or something, right? You take him out of that family that doesn't have access to musical instruments and everything, he might not turn into the Eddie Van Halen that we know today. Or we could say like Johann Sebastian Bach came from a family of musicians, right? So it was obviously his natural talents were obviously encouraged by the circumstances that he found himself in. It's important to be present and to be there to find out where that's what are your kids' talents? What are your kids' gifts? What are your kids' skills? What do they like to do? What is intrinsically rewarding for them? Find those things. And I still think parenting is like one of the toughest jobs on planet fucking Earth, but it's also one of the most rewarding jobs as well. If you're present, if you're there. So when I see guys, and again, this is no disrespect to anybody who is in this sort of demographic, but when I see guys who are like, I'm 56 years old. My daughter is 26 years old. So I had my daughter. My daughter was born when I was 30 years old. All of her growing up to where she is right now occurred between me being 30 and me being 56 years old, right? So over the last 26 years. So I can't imagine being like, say, 40, 45, 50 years old saying, okay, time to have a kid. Rolo, tell me, what demographic of girl should I target so I can have babies now? Like, dude, I can't. I mean, if that's what you want to do, more, vaya con Dios, man, more power to you. But I can't imagine being in that position and trying to float some sort of like, open relationship, or trying to float some influencer brand, or trying to float some, or even just like a regular business. It's hard. It is like the guy who was juggling all those things, like all juggling other things. Like, now I got a relationship. Now I got kids. Now I got this. And it's like, yeah, you're right. There is no time. Everything just comes collapsing down. But the thing is here you are juggling all this stuff, and you get it. Then on Father's Day, you got the guy at the fucking pulpit saying, do better. Here, I'm going to throw you another one. So now I got 7 things to juggle. That's being a guy, and that's being a father, right? Because it's thankless. In my first book, I have another essay, another chapter in there is called Appreciation. It was really kind of, I thought so at the time, it was very contentious, because I put in there, it's based on one simple fact, is that women fundamentally lack the capacity to appreciate the sacrifices that men have to make to facilitate women's realities. meaning there's so much you have to give up and so much you have to sacrifice. And this isn't a complaint, because the moment I say this, oh, here it is. There's the little tiny violin. Where's the tiny violin? Give me the tiny violin. Wait, now's the time. We have a tiny violin. Did you find it? Give me the tiny violin. Oh, here we go. Where'd it go? Wait. Okay. Huh. Oh, you poor man. You poor man. This is not poor man time, okay? But it is to notice the fact that you will not be appreciated for anything, because everything you do as a guy is expected of you. You're supposed to do that, right? It's like that was it Chris Rock, or I think it was Chris Rock, where it was saying, it was one of his earlier bits. It was like, when women say, I take care of my kids, you're supposed to, you dumb motherfucker. That's what. But see, I saw that and I was like, that's the attitude that most people have towards men. It's like, I take care of my kids. I'm there for them. I do this. I do that. You're supposed to. But what's funny is, like, there's so many. If that was the case, then there wouldn't be. If that was so common, then that wouldn't be funny. If it was so common, then people wouldn't laugh at the joke, right? Do I have another one? Oh, I do. What is this? If you want a legacy, go buy a Subaru. Jesus Christ, dude, for real. That's what you're going to leave me with? All right. What do you want, a cookie? Yeah, exactly. What do you want, a cookie? Hey, Ryan Stone. Holy mother. Come on, man. Here you go. Play with me. And I know it's Ryan because he's got a wrench by his name instead of the fake Ryan that always comes in here. Ryan, we need to do another show, man. You need to come in here. I want you to come to Vegas, man. You come down to Vegas. We'll do an in-studio show. That would be cool, so that you can leave fascist Canada. Yes. What is it? Eastern Bloc Canada. You should leave Eastern Bloc Canada, Ryan. Yes. Okay, I'm done for the day. That's my Father's Day show for you. I think it's great to be a dad. I would 100% agree that we need more conventionally masculine influences. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's only masculinity and the aspects of it that align with the female imperative, that align with gynocentrism, and the aspects that don't. And those aspects that don't are the ones that everybody wants to fucking brutalize. They're the ones that everybody wants to criticize. What do you say? I want to believe all of this, but some guy with a goatee that looks like Aladdin's genie has some infographics. Chin bun. The show would be nice. I'm visiting family, but I'm free. But after that, Freedom Land. Good for you, man. Yeah, you're right. Chin bun. I wonder what Chin bun's going to do today. I think am I the only red pill content creator? Well, who has kids besides me? Who in this state has kids? I know Ryan doesn't have kids. Ryan has like Italian greyhounds. Yeah. The Tristan and Andrew have kids now. Now that it's cool. Now that those are receipts. Sure. Yeah. Now that they want to be good God-fearing fathers, right? Rich Cooper's a dad, so I guess he gets a star today. Who else is a dad right now that I can think of? Rich has a kid, I know that. Rich Cooper. CGA has 2 kids. I didn't know that. Okay, CGA gets 2 stars. It's true. But it's funny is, like, I always get these guys who like say, Rollo, he's not a real dad. He's only got 1 kid. He's not helping repopulate the white race or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do I have? Oh, he's not red pill, but let's give a warm shout out to Matt Walsh, who has 6 kids, 8 kids now. Apparently, if you have I don't know what the going rate is. I don't know how many daddy cool points you get for having a kid, but each kid, like, certainly, like, he must outrank us all, because I think he's got 6 or 8 kids, right? Terrence Pop has a kid, does he? A couple of daughters. All right. Terrence Pop. Well, fresh whacked his kid, dude. Justin Waller has 2 kids. Yes, Justin Waller has 2 daughters. I know. I'm trying to think who else is a father. Mike Sartain is not a father yet. Sorry. Fresh. You almost made it, man. You almost got that star on the wall was not for you. Sorry. I don't even think there was a kid to be honest with you. I'm going with that. We'll never know. Will we ever know? Trying to think who, like, okay. I hate to exclude guys who are stepdads, but I'm trying to think like biological fathers, right? So I know a few other people who are fathers or fathers to be, but we'll just leave that for another show. Trying to think what else. Who else? John Fish. Yeah, John Fish has 2 sons. That's true. Who else has kids? Anyways, all the dads win dads, W dads today. Thank you. Version fit or beta. Well, I mean, it's Father's Day. They're gonna have to sit down and they're gonna have to take the L today. Thor has grandkids. That's true. Thor, how many kids does Thor have? Does he have? Yeah. Oh no. Thor does. Thor has a son. His son actually is a really great guitarist too. Anyways, so shout out to all the red pill dads. By the way, if you think that Rollo Tomasi never wrote about red pill parenting, I did. It's in my 3rd book. It's called Positive Masculinity, and about the first 2/3 of that book is about parenting. So what does that Rollo Tomasi guy know? He didn't get no hoes. He's not a dad. No, I am definitely a dad. I'm a dad you never had. Let's see. Well, let's say this. Women are probably I don't see. That's the kind of you have a really good message and then you fucking ruin it with that. And not because like he's being disingenuous. I think he's being very genuine. In fact, some of the few times that I can really appreciate this sort of the authenticity from Tate is when he's like being brutally honest like that, right? But you have all that. Trust me, that's going to be what everybody runs away with. All I had to say is one word: vasectomy. Nobody wants to. Isn't that the vasectomy guy? Tate, isn't that the guy who said that women are property? I mean, think about it. Like you could, and trust me, I'll say something else that people are going to take dead ass seriously, and I'll get known for that too. Probably. What did you say? Pearl has a kid with Polly. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait, roll. There's a kid with. Wait, I'm trying to find that real quick. Pearl, there it is. No, I got that. That needs to be on the screen. That's worth putting on the screen. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Thank you for watching today. I hope this has been informative for you. I am going. There is no Access Vegas this Thursday. It will be next Thursday. It'll be at Sticky Paws, as far as I know, unless we can get the big table in this big studio up and running. We're working on getting a new table for the large room. I'm in the Hex studio. Let's just call this this is the Hex studio. As you can see, I convinced my good friend Hex Jesus to front us with the same kind of acoustic that I have at my studio that's up in Reno. So now you know that you're in Red One Studios. This is the Southern Command Center, of course. Northern Command Center is still in Reno for the time being. I'm still deciding on whether I want to move here like absolutely 100% permanently, which means I would have to sell my house in Reno. It's being discussed. I'm not saying I'm going to, but it's being discussed. Where we are in the Hex studio, there's another studio that's right. I'm looking at it right now, and I can see the strip from, and I can see that big stupid sign right in front of this Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel is, what did you say? Ferris wheel is probably like half a mile away from here. I can see it through the window out there. Yeah, this is probably the single best podcast location I've ever been. It has such it's a mess in here right now, but it has so much potential. We're going to be doing a lot more in here. This is going to be the new headquarters for the Rational Male, headquarters for Access Vegas, if I can make it work. And it is also the new headquarters for Cultivate Crypto, Dollar Cost Crypto, Crypto Mindset. Whatever Kyle and I end up doing at some other point from here. We are this is our place. We need a Texas studio. We could do that. Should we do a Texas studio? Red. This is Red 1. That'll be Red 2. So yeah. And a lot of people, by the way, yes, I have seen, I saw the episode with Myron and Fresh talking about how they quit and everything. I was like, they're not quitting. Guys, trust me, they're not quitting. Nobody's quitting the red pill. But I think I think things are going to be a whole, like I'm always going to bet on the red pill. I'm always going to bet on this material. I've been doing this long enough to see what the cycles are. I think we're going to have to keep our heads down. Like I said, Access Vegas, the main channel got demonetized, but Rational Male still, we're still monetized here, and my Clips channel is still monetized. I'm trying to play by the rules always, and keep you guys informed and everything else. They did the meme. But like I'm Rolo, I can't leave. I like, can you imagine me like saying, you know what, I'm done with the red pill. I'm going to pivot over to a fishing channel.
Book's still for sale.
Book's still for sale, even though I'm fishing now. So there you go. Yeah. So anyways, that's the studio's coming along somewhat nicely. This is the first show we've done here. It's pretty good. We got 2 cameras in here. I'm going to see if I can get 3. We're working on some other stuff, some new things that are in the works. Let's see. So Access Vegas will be Thursday, the 27th. It's not this next Thursday, but the one after. The 27th will be the next date for Access Vegas, and then we will be again. Well, we can't do 4th of July, obviously, so we'll probably doing the 11th of July will be the one right after that. I just did. Oh, by the way, I got a big shout out to my partner, my business partner, Joe Marin, who he and I and Jim Kilgore, we did our very first sort of trial run for our 45 to 65-year-old group of guys. We are now partnering. This week I have to actually start an LLC this week. I haven't done that in so long. So I'm going to start an LLC because we are officially partnering with MOA, which is Men of Action. That's Mike Sartain's group. So we are sort of catering to the 45 to 65-year-old demographic for that, because we know how important it is to do shit. And I don't want to be the kind of guy who just sits here and does reaction videos and gives you, 2-hour-long shows about, or 3-hour-long shows about, teachers' sex scandals. I think it's important that we actually do things. And so this is me doing things. So we have a group that's where, I don't know, we wouldn't really have a title for it just yet, but it's for guys who are 45 to 65 years old. And we're just sort of reintegrating guys back into sort of the sexual marketplace and helping that demographic of guys, because it's necessary. And these are the guys who get zeroed out. These are the guys, a prime demographic for male self-deletion. And especially if they get divorced, they're 8 times as likely for self-deletion. Sorry, Pearl. It's actually 8, not 9. Get it right. When people say, "Oh, the red pill doesn't do anything," they're long on rhetoric and short on solutions. Here's your fucking solution. I'm doing something. I'm actually out there talking to these guys. We're helping these guys along and doing it right there, live in real time, face to face. We're doing shit. So I don't know too many other people who are doing that besides like posting pithy bullshit on fucking Twitter. So that went down very well in Hollywood, California for Babes in Toyland, which was awesome. And I say that because we were working with guys who are older at that one. And we'll probably be doing more. We're going to do separate standalone events, meetups, things like that, sort of help these guys along their way. By the way, if you haven't joined me on Minect, somebody asked me, I got a super chat about Minect not too long ago. If you have a question and you don't want to get into like full long out, strung out counseling, use the Minect link. That is the third link down in my my stack there. Also, subscribe to me on Substack. I will probably be doing. I think I will publish the Father's Day post tonight. So if you want to, please subscribe to my Substack is 100% paid right now. So you have to have a subscription. You get a little bit of, you get like the first like third of it for free. But if you want to read an entire essay, please help support me. It's only like $9.90 or $10 a month. So it's not even that expensive. So anyways, that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully I will see you guys soon. Please also don't forget the Rational Male. All 5 books are available on Amazon and Audible and in print format. I am still in the process of getting the approval for the hardback version of the second edition of the first book. That's a mouthful. And then we got some new stuff coming. Like Mike and I have some new stuff coming up in July. It's going to be summertime stuff. There might be a bikini contest or two in there. So just something fun to do, but check that out. And I will see you guys next week. Same time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on Rational Male and right here in Red One Studios. Thank you. And I will see you again soon after I play you this song on the way out. It might be.
Would you do it again? I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time, but I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. It was my first time. What do you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules now in the game. I've got some new tools. Please do the same. Time came by and went over like a matchbox stereo. Time to get my thoughts now, let go. Bound to keep me up all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Could have the best day of my life. The best day of my life. Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up every wall while I got your hair. Why you screaming my name? She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time stopping and stuffing with her head like she's calling you Kelly. So baby, come ride me up and down like a pony, turning up my song, getting nasty, working up and down on your body. Ride me up and down like a pony, turning up my song on your body. Baby, we'll get down to it all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again.
This City Podcast has been a production of the Rational Male. All rights reserved. Registered trademark 2024. Don't steal Ned stuff.